Mansfield University hosted the first ever night football game in 1892. Tonight they'll play under the lights at home for the first time since that electric debut as Mansfield hosts Princeton here at Carl Van Norman Field. Hello again and welcome to our Sports Fever Television Network coverage. John Schaefer and Phil Shanner with you here. Shanna Muscavich will join us from the sidelines this evening as well. Phil, they've been waiting a long time for this. It's finally here.
121 years. I mean, the first time, this is the birthplace of night football. 1892, that special night at the Greater Mansfield Fairgrounds. What a night it was. Wyoming Seminary, a prep school from Kingston, PA against Mansfield. It was lit up. The folks that night, they didn't come to see the football, John. They came to see the lights. It was something brand new. The town of Mansfield didn't have lights until 5 years after that football game. But it ended at the half, 0-0, no score, because it wasn't bright enough. I guarantee you tonight that we're going to go past halftime and we will have a winner. And the fans here tonight are not only here to see this place light up, they're also here for the football.
Well, it sounds like Phil is ready. I'm ready. Let's light up Mansfield.
Go Mounties, beat Princeton.
Go Mounties, beat Princeton.
Go Mounties, beat Princeton. Go Mounties, beat Princeton.
Go Mounties, beat Princeton.
Hey guys, just in time.
When Julie wanted to provide some stability for her two boys, she reached out to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for her home loan. We're proud we could help Julie and her family. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help homeownership dreams come true.
I'm General Fran Hendricks. I learned to be a leader at Mansfield University. I'm proud to say, I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie. I'm a Mountie.
I'm Fran Hendricks, president of Mansfield University in class of 1979, and I invite you to be a Mountie too.
People have their own ideas about miracles. Some will tell you miracles are irrefutable signs of divinity. Others will say they're nothing more than myth. But one thing cannot be denied. When mind, body, and spirit work together, truly together, the impossible becomes suddenly possible. This is what we teach at LECOM. This is a calling that we can help you fulfill. LECOM, can you hear the calling?
Today's special presentation of college football on the Sports Fever Television Network is brought to you by Mansfield University, Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board Bureau of Alcohol Education, Clarence RRR Roadhouse Restaurant, and the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency.
The lights are on in Mansfield. Princeton and Mansfield to get this sprint football season underway. John Schaefer and Phil Shanner with you. We'll introduce Shanna Muscavich as we continue on this glorious night for football. The lights are on, and we're getting set here, Phil, for football.
And when the switch was made. What excitement. The excitement level was through the roof, and you see the whole community in the northern tier very excited about Mansfield lighting up, and this is the birthplace of night football, and it's back again. The excitement, the energy of everyone coming back, the Mansfield alumni that are here. This is just a great night. Without question, goes down in Mansfield University history here tonight.
And everyone is getting set for it. They're expecting a record crowd. Mansfield will kick away wearing those red and black uniforms to Princeton. And their kicker is a newcomer. One of the biggest acquisitions, actually, of this offseason is Kirk Haskell, who's a California native. And he's getting set to get this 2013 season underway. And 121 years later, the lights are back on. It is a very good kick, driving the return man back inside the 5. And the coverage excellent. And he's not going to reach the 10-yard line. It was Lucas Howard that was strung out by John Mark Bazile. Our first look at Princeton's offense on this Saturday evening. And our first look as well as Chad Cowden, the freshman quarterback who played at Boonesboro High School in Maryland. He was a wing T quarterback. A look at the wide receivers and tight ends and the skill positions, then that offensive line. There are some seniors and a couple of multiple-year starters. But this is a very young unit overall for Stephen Everett. First down for Cowden. And he'll give to the tailback, and nothing stirring on first down. Nothing at all. Dylan Flexer in on the stop. A.J. Sibley, the ball carrier. And a good start for the Mansfield defense. This is a Princeton team that last year averaged less than 200 yards per offense a game.
They want to try to improve on that. Of course, last year Mansfield beat Princeton in the opener, so they want to make sure they try to do that on a big night like this as far as lightening up, and we'll see what Princeton can do offensively here.
4 wide for Cowden, who overshoots the intended target. He was looking for Kevin Ma, senior wide receiver, and 3rd and long here coming up. Let's take a look at that Mansfield defense. They've moved Anthony Mazzone up from linebacker to defensive end. It's a 3-3-5 defense. And here a look at the linebackers led by Jake Myers, the senior linebacker. We already mentioned John Mark Bazile's name as well. And the secondary for Mansfield. This is 3rd and long. Officially 3rd and 9. Cowden has time. Takes off. And is going to be stopped prior to the 20-yard line. He may have lost the football.
Jake Myers was the one there last year. He led the Mansfield in tackles. He is their leader defensively. He came up there to make the big hit, and we're going to talk about him all night long. He is their defensive leader. He's the one that makes the defense go for Mansfield.
Tigers will retain possession.
Take a look here. He's looking down the field, wants to go right, and then realizes has enough room, sees a hole to run, but then watch Myers come up and lay the hit on him. And we'll talk throughout the night about sprint football and what's that all about as far as you cannot weigh more than 172 pounds 48 hours prior to kickoff. We'll talk about that more through the evening here.
This is Abe Keelar to kick away from the shadow of his own end zone. Return man standing right around midfield. Nearly blocked. Short kick. Pressure impacting that, and it's going to be down to the 36-yard line.
What great field position for Mansfield. They flip the switch, the lights are on, and now a great opportunity for their offense. Mansfield has an opportunity in their first offense possession of this new season with the lights on to get on the board first.
17-yard punt. Mansfield taking over offensively for the first time under their sophomore signal caller Ben Pepper, back for his 2nd year. An all-CSFL performer Jeremy Estremera is the key, the tailback in that skill position lineup for Mansfield. The offensive line is experienced. Blaine Wainwright, athletic, will play both left tackle and center here tonight. First look at Pepper in the shotgun. Oh, and on the option has it. Into the secondary and more. Inside the 20 before being brought down. A flag is down as well.
That was nice by Pepper. Fooled the Princeton defense. They really bit on the fake, and he just saw the room to run and kept it. We'll wait for the call here by the officials to see if it's coming back.
Dan Scanlon, the referee.
Number 11 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
It's a senior wide receiver, David Wallace, that gets called for the hold.
That was some blocking downfield right there, but watch as he takes off. He sees the room that was designed all the way. That was the call. And there you're trying to get that extra block downfield, and the wide receiver gets flagged, but a good start for Mansfield and pretty good offensive call there to start the game.
It was downfield, so 1st and 5. This is a handoff and a nifty little move inside by the tailback, Jeremy Estremera, the 5'7" junior from Brooklyn that last year was an all-CSFL second-team performer for these Mounties that went 2-5 last year. Princeton was winless. Here is their defense tonight. Spencer Haldeman, you'll hear his name a lot. Abe Keelar is one of the ends as well for the Tigers. The linebackers, Bob Doherty, Kadeem Cohens, and Kyle Douglas. And the corners and secondary relatively inexperienced. Number of new faces this year for the head coach, Graham Johnson. 2nd and 4 from the 30 for the Mounties. Pepper drops back, has a man. Inside the 20, still on his feet. Inside the 10, it's Casey Huff. The sophomore wide receiver Huff makes the play, and it's a first down. He's from Towanda, had 20 catches last year.
He's a Northern Tier guy, and that's we mentioned about the young secondary of Princeton, so they're going to take full advantage of that, and they get it out to Casey, who makes a nice spin move there, and you're going to see, I think, Mansfield go through the air. That's how they're going to attack Princeton. They're going to test those corners that are inexperienced, the inexperienced corners for the Tigers.
Estremera, the tailback, and there is a fumbled snap, and Estremera pounces on it back at the 10.
It is the first game of the season for both teams, so you're going to have some minor problems like that, where you have some exchange problems and fumbles. That's to be expected, but you want to try to clear them up. Obviously, Mansfield has a golden opportunity to get something done here, and we see looks like it just came out the center, snapped that ball right through the quarterback's hands, but it was a good job to recover that and make sure they don't turn over the football with Mansfield in the red zone.
It was actually Drummond, the fullback, and here's a little sweep play on the outside and inside the 5 near the goal line. Sweeping to David Wallace, who said his name a moment ago, and Mansfield has it at the 1-yard line.
David Wallace is a player that Mansfield hopes to get the ball more to. He's the guy that has some electric speed, so that's what they want to do as far as getting the ball to him. And watch him in the open field right here, hit that hole, and good vision, then lowers his head, tries to bust his way into the end zone, but gets down at the 1-yard line. Nearly got in, a strong run.
There's a Tiger down here. It is 3rd down and goal for Mansfield.
John, it's time to talk a little bit about the sprint football and the different weights that are involved here. So we got that injury. We can see it. Look at it again, and right there you see the injury on the tackle there. Take a look at it there, number 16.
Yeah, Lucas Howard. Let's introduce Shanna Muscavage, who's on the sideline.
Much, John. Well, you talked a little bit about the history of sprint football, and it was actually founded back in 1934, and it was the Eastern 150-pound Football League. Now, they've gradually increased weights over the years, setting the weight at 172 in 2005, and this has produced some notable alums, I should say. We've got Donald Rumsfeld, he played for Princeton, and we've got President Jimmy Carter, who played for Navy. John?
Yeah, it is remarkable. This type of football has been played for a number of years, many decades, and now being played as sprint football here in 2013. This is 3rd and goal from the 1. Just about 5 minutes in, handoff Estremera, and he dives in for the touchdown. And a great start with the lights on for Mansfield.
Good blocking at the line, and the touchdown what Mansfield wanted, and all these people that packed the stadium tonight to see the lights come on. They're excited to get on the board and score the first touchdown. It's been 121 years since they played night football, and it's back, and here's the first touchdown scored by Mansfield just over the right side of the line, and good blocking up front. Watch it again here. Make sure he holds onto that ball and into the end zone for the touchdown for Mansfield.
As the extra point from Kirk Haskell is up and through, we've already had more scoring than we had back in the 1890s in the first night game that was scoreless. So 7-0, Mansfield has jumped out in front as the extra point is good for Kirk Haskell. Great start for Mansfield here on Saturday night.
Where can you dig for diamonds?
Where can you go to class with the fish?
Join an 1890s football team.
Where can you study with a ghost?
Solve a crime.
Live in the skybox.
Climb a rock wall. Perform in London.
Ride your own personal shuttle to class.
Go whitewater rafting.
At Mansfield University.
Mansfield University.
More than 70 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, a liberal arts foundation to help you prepare for a lifetime of careers. A small rural campus nestled in the mountains of north central Pennsylvania. Faculty and staff who are here to help you learn and to help you succeed. Mansfield University, developing tomorrow's leaders.
Estramera strikes first on the ground, the All-CSFL performer last year, and a great start for Mansfield in front of this record crowd on this Saturday night.
They took advantage of the great field position after the great job defensively, and the offense took care of business and got on the board, so great start for Mansfield.
This is fielded down to 10, falling down inside the 20. Is Howard. It was Dylan Flexer again on the stop. There's a flag down on the play.
Again, of course, weight is an issue. No more than 100.
Kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Personal foul against Mansfield, so they'll tack on 15 yards and a good start for the second possession for these Tigers.
So we talked about the weight. You have to be 172 pounds 48 hours prior to the kickoff. Now height is not an issue. So as far as height is concerned, so tonight we have the tallest player out there is 6'2". We have a couple, and then the smallest player out there tonight 5'2". So there's where you have the variations as far as height is concerned, not so much with the weight.
There's Cowden, the freshman, hands off for Sibley, and he's stuffed immediately at the line of scrimmage. Jake Myers, the outside linebacker, the senior, pumped up to make the stop.
Jake Myers is a guy that's so excited about this night, and he, again, is the leader. Watch Jake come right here, and he comes right in and gets that stop behind the line of scrimmage. No one had him, and that's what he does. Jake was so excited about playing night football back in Mansfield. You know he wanted to have a big game tonight. We're going to be keying on him all night long. He's going to have a huge game tonight.
Another second-team All-CSFL performer last year. Second and long for Princeton, officially at 10 yards. Hard count there for Cowden. And Sibley again is snuffed out in the backfield, this time by Anthony Mazzone.
Now Mazzone's only 5'5", so he's the little guy off the edge, and he just busts his way in there, and a strong pursuit for another play for a loss. Watch him right here, coming in, pretty much untouched, the low tackle, enough to knock him down, but he was in the backfield awful quick for Mansfield.
Cowden was a wing T quarterback in high school. They're trying to turn him into a pro-style quarterback here. This is his first start as a freshman out of Boonesboro High School in Maryland. Passing down at 13. Trips near side. Plenty of time. Firing downfield, and it's caught. Caught by McCord. Inside the 10 for the score. It goes 66 yards, and the Tigers answer immediately with some fireworks.
Well, on the coverage was Kenny Burks of Mansfield. He kind of misjudged that. Looks like the ball was going to hang up the air enough time for him to make an adjustment. That was not the case. And McCord was there, and that silences this crowd from Mansfield as Princeton comes right back and answers the Mansfield touchdown through the air.
Now the extra point attempt. Again, he was a wing T quarterback in high school. You wouldn't know it from the throw there to Chris McCord, who will play both ways. A lot of these Princeton players will. Less than 30 players on this sprint roster for the Tigers. This is Abe Keeler attempting the extra point to tie the score. And it's botched. And they will not even the score. This play's still alive. Mansfield's trying to take it back for 2. Jonathan Keller. And he does that. What a start this has been at Mansfield.
Isn't that something? You give up the 66-yard touchdown, and then you come up on the extra point conversion, make a big play, and get something out of it. You got to love that if you're in Mansfield, and that's the case there on that play. Take a look at this touchdown, 66 yards. You mentioned that strong throw, and McCord was there. The man on the coverage was Burks. Looked like he was going to try to come back and make a play on that, but McCord was pretty wide open for that 66-yard touchdown. And then watch as we check this out as they're going for the conversion. And here we go. More fireworks for Mansfield as they turn on the lights here after a 121-year absence. And Mansfield has a 9-6 lead in the first quarter. We'll be back.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, you two. It's dinner time.
When Marcus and Michelle were starting their family, they came to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for their home loan. We're proud we could help Marcus, Michelle, and Mia. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help home ownership dreams come true.
Karen has 459 friends, but none of them made sure she got home okay. None of them suggested she skip the next drink, try a glass of water, or maybe just call it a night. Karen has 459 friends, but tonight, what she really needed was one good one.
Great shot of the new lights here at Mansfield, the inventor of night football, Mansfield University, all the way back in the 1890s. It has been 121 years since they've turned the lights back on, and it's been a fast start for both sides. Another look at that catch pulled in by Chris McCord for Princeton. That play went 66 yards.
Well, you got to like the fact that then Mansfield was upset about giving up a 66-yard touchdown, but that they made a play when Princeton was going for the two-point conversion.
Short kick. This is Larkham. Hit at the 35, and that's where Mansfield will begin their second possession of the night.
How about this? Electric lights were not invented they were invented just 13 years earlier by Thomas Edison, and then they had the first night game ever. So isn't that crazy that they were able to kind of turn it around and then decide to light up a football game of all sports, and it was done right here in Mansfield?
And that was the spectacle, was really seeing the lights go on. Lights would not come to Mansfield for a number of years after that game, and they'd actually have to stop that first game in 1892 because of really the conditions. They couldn't see at the half. Stopped 0-0 at the half, even with the lights on. Pepper will hand it off. It keeps it, actually, and is out to the 40-yard line. Ready for a spectacular experience? Play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, $1 million spectacular with 5 top prizes of $1 million. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. 2nd and 5. That was Pepper, the sophomore quarterback, on the keeper. Last year split time with the junior Mike Maniscalco. 2nd down. Looks to throw. It's complete. First down yardage and more. Patrick Yu on the stop. It was Joe Busick that made the catch, the sophomore tight end.
Kind of see that Mansfield wants to get a little rhythm passing the ball right here. Take a look at Pepper, able to come back and find Music there. A solid throw by Pepper. He's a sophomore, so he has some experience, shared time at quarterback for Mansfield, but Pepper has really emerged as the guy that can get the passing game going.
Yeah, talking with Graham Johnson, his head coach, his second-year head coach, he said he really liked the leadership he has shown in this just his sophomore season. This is going to be a loss for Mansfield. Trying to run left. Jeremy Estremera, but nothing doing. Chad Cowden. Loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Passing situation for Mansfield here. We'll see what Pepper can do. So far tonight has some successes. He'll need to go to the air here to get the yardage for the first.
He's under center. That was the screen, and it's incomplete. And if Estremera makes that catch, he's got miles of daylight out in front.
Not only miles, but he also had blockers there too. It was a well-designed screenplay there, John, where if he would have made that grab, he would have had plenty of real estate. Take a look at it here. Pepper just tries to send it over the top to him, and if he would have made that catch, a lot of real estate in front of him also with some blockers. So that would have been a major pickup for Mansfield.
So now a 3rd and long situation for the Mansfield offense. A team that last year averaged right around 200 yards of total offense per game. Both of these teams averaged under 200 yards of total offense. Pepper on play action, avoids the sack, but it's incomplete. He was looking for David Wallace. Kyle Douglas was there, and Princeton gets a stop.
Kyle Douglas brought the pressure there on Pepper. He had to get rid of it a little earlier than what he wanted to, and there you see them talking it over a little bit, and that was all because of the pressure. Watch the pressure coming right here. Some heavy pressure on the way, so he had to throw it a little earlier than what he wanted, and it was a little too low.
Mansfield's punter is Sean Green. He averaged right around 33 yards per kick last year. The return man is standing right around his own 20-yard line. This is a high kick. Fair catch is called for. Up in an excellent bounce for Mansfield. And this is going to be down inside the 5. An outstanding punt down by Kurt Logan. That punt will go for 55 yards.
And you talk about, as far as getting a bounce that you favors you, and that was the case there off that turf. I mean, it was a great punt to begin with, and really maybe at that point you want to set up the fair catch, but now a great opportunity for Mansfield to pin Princeton down.
If you're looking for a DVD of tonight's game or any prior Sports Fever games, email PASportsFever at PA.net. Pick up a copy of this historic broadcast tonight from Mansfield under the lights. PA Sports Fever at PA.net. Timeout called here by Princeton with 6:59 to play. Good start from Northern PA.
I'm General Fran Hendricks. I learned to be a leader at Mansfield University. I'm proud to say I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie. I'm a Mountie.
I'm Fran Hendricks, president of Mansfield University in class of 1979, and I invite you to be a Mountie too.
Hey guys, just in time.
When Julie wanted to provide some stability for her 2 boys, she reached out to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for her home loan. We're proud we could help Julie and her family. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help homeownership dreams come true.
Sean Green has pinned Princeton deep. They'll start from their own 4-yard line. Mansfield and Princeton have had some offense here early on under the lights. And a beautiful night for football here. John Schaefer and Phil Shannon. Shannon Muscavage as well. Handoff on first down for about 3 yards.
Again, Princeton is not the best of field position, so Mansfield defense wants to take advantage of that like they did to start the game and try to get them 3 and out and get that ball back and get their offense in a great position. So it's an opportunity for this defense led by Myers to force Princeton to punt the ball back to them. And this defense, there were some players, there were some open spots that had to be won during camp, and they were taken care of, and the Mansfield coaching staff feels very good about their defense this year.
2nd and 9, Sibley again the tailback. This is Sibley trying to run right, but tripped up after no gain. 3rd and long now. The stop was made by Kyle Sadler.
And Myers in there on the stop as well. Myers already racking up five tackles, I think, already so far tonight. I mean, his name is being called a lot tonight. And again, the defense, the coach is very pleased with the way the defense shaped up during camp to get ready for this season. So Mansfield believes one of their strong points is certainly their defense this year.
Mansfield struck first, Princeton answered, and now a 3rd and 8 for the Tiger offense. Winless last year, and now prior to the 3rd down, flag flies.
Yeah, I think they had too many guys on the field.
21 on the offense, 12 men in formation. If the distance to the goal, 3rd down.
Now, sprint football, you have to be 172 pounds or less, but you still can't have 12 guys on the field. Still 11 guys have to be out there, so you can't have more than 11. All the other rules are the same besides the weight, but that's mistakes that you're going to have as far as Princeton is concerned. You don't want these kind of mistakes early on, especially in the field position situation that you're in now.
Yeah, that was a half the distance, so 3rd and 10 from the Princeton 4. Cowden has a tailback to his left. Has time and throws behind the intended target. He was looking for Chris McCord, who has the 66-yard touchdown. That would have been a 1st down if he let him. Instead, it's a punting situation. Let's go downstairs to Shannon. Let's take a look first here.
Yep. McCoy, he's the one that caught the 66-yard touchdown pass. It was just a little behind him, but I know that McCoy's probably saying to himself, I got to make that catch. I got to make it.
Now let's head back down to Shannon. Sorry about that, Shannon. Actually, we're going to get it after the punt. So this is Keeler. Return man standing at the 39-yard line. High snap and a safety taken by Keeler. And that's the 2nd time that Princeton's given up 2 points on a play. And it's 11-6.
So how about the 4 points that have been given up at Mansfield? 2 and 2. So it's like baseball almost.
Shannon, let's head things back to you.
Thanks so much, John. Well, you've talked a lot about Mansfield's defense, and a key part of that defense is senior Jake Myers. He played a huge role in last year's win over Princeton, intercepting a 4th down pass, took it back for a touchdown, 67 yards with under 2 to play, and that iced the 23-10 win for the Mountaineers. John?
3rd time's a charm. Thank you, Shannon. Shannon Muscavage on the sideline. John Schaefer and Phil Shaner here. 11-6, Mansfield leading.
So you take the safety, and we talked about, John, the field position. Of course, when Mansfield scored their first touchdown, it was because of good field position. So this time Princeton said, okay, we'll give you 2, but we don't want to give up 6. So that's why they took the safety, but it's kind of unique that we had the 2 scoring plays, the 2 and 2 to get to the 4 for 11-6 score, but Princeton felt the field position that they were in, they'll take the 2 and hopefully prevent giving up 6 points. So that's why they took the safety there, and they'll have to, of course, give the ball back to Mansfield, but with an opportunity here the field position won't be as good for Mansfield as it would have been if Princeton would have punted there from their own end zone.
Free kick opportunity for Keeler, who just took the safety. You saw the Princeton head coach Stephen Everett huddling up with his team. Everett in his 3rd season. Former strong safety at West Virginia Wesleyan, played at Willingboro High School, New Jersey. Spent 18 years as a high school head coach before taking this job 3 years ago. Decent kick. Mansfield's going to have excellent field position, though. Inside Princeton territory, down to the 35-yard line. It's Dylan Flexer on the return, and the Mounties are set up.
Well, with Flexer's move there, that kind of backfired for Princeton, so the field position is pretty good for Mansfield to get the offense going with this 11-6 lead. So they want to get the up-tempo offense going. They want to set as far as what they got going offensively, get the rhythm, and the fans, the lights are on and the shirts are off for some of the student body here in Mansfield. And it is turning into a cold night here in the northern tier.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it. Officially still summer, but tonight we might be down near 40 degrees before this one is all said and done. Quick hitch on the outside, dropped. That was Pepper looking. Intended target there, Casey Huff, setting up a 2nd down.
Looking for big things out of Casey Huff this season. That was talked about by the coaching staff going into this season this year. They're expecting a lot out of Casey. A lot of plays designed for Casey to get the ball in open space this season.
This is a pro-wide offense, or really an SEC-type offense when you talk to their head coach, Graham Johnson, who was a coach at one point at Tennessee. Here's a swing and room on the outside. Estromero finds the edge. And is tackled near the edge by Sibley, but not before. Mansfield has a 1st down.
Estromero, he can run the football. Watch it here. The sweep to him to the right side, has some running room, good blocking up front, and then he just hits some speed. Tries to get to the corner there, and a good amount of yards. Mansfield's very happy with a play like that. When they can get the running game going like that, actually the running will set up the pass, and that's what the Mansfield's game plan is coming in tonight.
It's a keeper for Pepper. Has blockers out in front. And Pepper's down inside the 10. Another Mansfield first down. A good job to keep on the zone read. Had the option to go to Estremera as well. Had the big gain of play before, and Mansfield has first and goal.
Yeah, it's the exact play. It's the exact play that we saw in the first series. Right there, he has the option read. Read the defense. Gets some good blocking there. 75 in front of him. Hits the hole hard. The exact play they ran in that first series where they scored the touchdown.
First and goal for the Mounties. Estremera reverses course. Flag is down as he is tackled at the 4-yard line. May come back as a hold as Estremera started right and went left.
Holding, number 60 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down over.
That's a freshman lineman, Josh Stone.
And that'll happen sometimes, John, as Estremera kind of went one way and then spun his field and went the other way, and you can see that hold there. It was the right bottom of your screen. And that happens sometimes when you have a shifty runner like that that'll go start his run one way and then turn it around the other way because you're getting in position to block. That's one thing that we talked about before we came on, John, is to look at the battle of the line of scrimmage. You don't have these big, huge guys that rely on their big weight and size. These guys are all 172 and under, so blocking technique is very important on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Pepper play action. Down he goes. Tigers got to him. This time it's Bob Doherty, the junior linebacker, all the way back at the 25-yard line. This was first and goal. Now it's 3rd and a quarter of the field.
Doherty came from the outside, little play action, and Pepper didn't see him coming. Hit him from the backside for the big sack there, and boy, did Princeton need that play.
Remember, Mansfield has a new kicker in Kirk Haskell, who they like from inside 45 yards. Here you want to at least get some of the yardage back. It is 2nd down and goal from the 25. So, of course, you're thinking end zone, but also moving closer for Haskell. Again, a zone read. Pepper showing his athleticism. Cuts inside and is tackled out of bounds near the 10.
Pepper does a nice job to just kind of survey the field and see what the Princeton defense has given him and then make the read on what he wants to do. And he's only a sophomore, and right there looks down the field, sees the blocking, and has the speed to get on the outside, avoid a couple of tacklers there, and get some positive yardage for Mansfield.
Handled kicking duties as well last year for Mansfield. Very athletic quarterback, had a 3-touchdown passing game against Franklin Pierce last year, bursting onto the scene. This is 3rd and goal from the 11. Estremera, the lone tailback. It's a pitch. Cutting inside. Still on his feet before being tripped up around the 3. This will be a decision now, potentially for Graham Johnson.
Estremera is a tough runner, that's for sure. I like how he kind of, when he hit the hole, John, he kind of stopped and looked and then had another gauge of speed, and that's good to have as a shifty runner. Now you have an opportunity. What are you going to do here on this 4th down? The way the momentum's going, you have the lights turned on. I would go for a touchdown, but I think they're going to end up trying with a field goal attempt. But look at the great second effort by Estremera there to get those extra yards, trying to fight his way into the end zone.
This is Haskell attempting what will be a 20-yarder off that side hash. And the kick from Haskell is up and through, and Mansfield with 1:51 to play in the first quarter has taken a 14-6 lead as they've had 4 different scoring plays. The Mounties enjoying this Saturday night at home.
Mansfield University.
More than 70 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, a liberal arts foundation to help you prepare for a lifetime of careers. A small rural campus nestled in the mountains of north central Pennsylvania. Faculty and staff who are here to help you learn and to help you succeed. Mansfield University, developing tomorrow's leaders.
Hey guys, just in time.
When Julie wanted to provide some stability for her 2 boys, she reached out to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for her home loan. We're proud we could help Julie and her family. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help homeownership dreams come true.
Today's special presentation of college football on the Sports Fever Television Network is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, your housing resource. If you need an affordable apartment or home mortgage that fits your budget, start with the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We do refis too. Learn more at phfa.org.
Affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call.
Well, here, as Mansfield has taken a 6 lead here at Carl Van Norman Field. Good start for the Mounties offensively. The field goal, a 20-yarder, has given the Mounties a 14-6 advantage. Hot air balloons here tonight. Some fireworks as well when they turned on the lights for the first time in 121 years.
Wasn't it great to see Chester Bailey, 101 years old, flip that switch in 1935, graduate of Mansfield University. That's how our night got started.
Kick is fielded around the 15-yard line. And it'll reach the 25. They're going to say dead ball. So the play was over. And Princeton will start at their own 25-yard line. Princeton's had a big strikeout offense from Chad Cowden.
Take a look what happens here. Princeton fields that kickoff, and we'll see if there was a fumble or not. Is he down?
He is, it looks like.
I would say he's down, so the refs got that call right. They're going to talk about it a little bit, but looks like they made the right call there. And yeah, Princeton's highlight of the night was that 66-yard touchdown pass. That
Personal foul. Targeting number 4 on the kicking team. By rule, that player is ejected.
Mansfield has lost Jason Winters. Targeting is a new rule in college football this year, and an automatic ejection. You see Winters coming in at the end of the play, leading with the helmet, and that deemed targeting by the officiating crew.
Winters is a senior, so that's something that he'll be upset with, of course, on a big night like this, lighting up the football back again at Mansfield, and he gets ejected from the game. The first 2 weeks of college football, haven't seen much of that being called, but it is a new rule, and it is a rule that tries to protect the players. And of course, now they're looking for an explanation. The referees talking, the officiating crew talking to Mansfield, and he's, as you can imagine, is disappointed. A senior was looking forward to this night, and Jason Winters now has to sit and not be able to participate in the game after that infraction called on him.
Sizable loss in sprint football with only 7 regular season games for these teams. He will miss the remainder of this one, and Princeton set up well at their own 41-yard line after that personal foul and ejection. Cowden has a man. Complete out near midfield to Kadeem Cohens. Freshman wide receiver picks up 7 on first down.
Princeton's just trying to get something to get the offense going a little bit. And that play, there's a penalty on the play, so we'll see what the call is here, see if that's coming back or not.
To the play on sportsmanlike conduct, taunting. Defense.
So an ejection followed up by taunting. It's getting chippy out there. And after the play, you saw some jawing on both sides, and 2 personal fouls against Mansfield here on the drive.
And that's going to be something that's going to really upset the Mansfield staff. They can't have these kind of mistakes, and penalties right now are putting Princeton in great field position because of the penalties. You know, Mansfield's very excited about the huge crowd that's here, the fact that night football is back, but they got to make sure they keep their emotions in check.
First down inside Mansfield territory after the personal foul. Cowden in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 47-yard line. Jonathan Keller on the sack. And a flag as well. This might be holding.
Number 55 on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Patrick Villette called for the hold.
Good job by the Mansfield defense to create that pressure, and they saw they were going to tee up on that. But take a look here. You might see the hold there in the line of scrimmage, but then watch the great play coming right off there. The pressure comes down from Mansfield, a couple of guys after him, but all the way in on that was a great play by Jonathan Keeler, the senior, comes up and makes that big sack for Mansfield.
1st and 20 with 4 wide receivers. Cowan steps up, completes a pass inside the 40-yard line.
Jake Myers was there to almost take that one away. Jake Myers playing some serious defense, picked up on that and almost knocked it down, almost picked it off. And again, Myers already having an outstanding night, as we mentioned him a couple of times. You'll take a look at it right here. Watch Myers, 54, trying to come and knock that ball down. He was right on it, just a step behind as he clapped his hands there and knew how close he was to knocking that pass away.
Final seconds now of the first quarter. Mansfield leading 14-6. Look at Tiger head coach Stephen Everett, that as a high school head coach for 18 years told his kids to bulk up, eat big meals, 3 meals, huge meals every time you eat. Now he tells kids to eat 6 times a day, watch your weight, make sure to weigh in.
Yeah, if you get in 48 hours before the game, then you can bulk up and start eating. But until then, it's just like wrestling. You got to meet your weight, and that's what happens. And then 48 hours before the game, everyone has to be under 172 pounds in sprint football.
This could be the final play if they want to get it off. It looks like Howden doesn't, and the first quarter will come to an end here at Mansfield. Mounties 14, Tigers 6 in an entertaining first 15 minutes. We're looking forward to the next 45 as well right here on the Sports Fever Television Network.
I'm General Fran Hendricks, and I learned to be a leader at Mansfield University. I'm proud to say I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie. I'm a Mountie.
I'm Fran Hendricks, president of Mansfield University in class of 1979, and I invite you to be a Mountie too.
Where can you dig for diamonds?
Where can you go to class with the fish?
Join an 1890s football team.
Where can you study with a ghost?
Solve a crime.
Live in the skybox.
Climb a rock wall. Perform in London.
Ride your own personal shuttle to class.
Go whitewater rafting.
At Mansfield University.
The second quarter will begin with Princeton driving inside Mansfield's 40-yard line, trailing by 8. It's the freshman quarterback Chad Cowden on the second down. Firing over the middle, nearly intercepted. Right through the arms of Mike Busick.
Busick was waiting for that play. I mean, he was right there to make the interception. He's upset with himself. That would have been a bright spot on this night where the lights come back on. It was right there for him, and Busick is disappointed in himself. He'll hopefully get another opportunity, but he knew that was an INT written all over it for him.
3rd and 14, just underway here in the second quarter. Trips on the near side for Princeton. Hard count from Cowden. Flag is up, might be a free play. And this is intercepted. And then dropped, but intercepted by Mansfield's Max Collette.
Collette had it, and then I think had it long enough, then seemed to drop it.
Defense number 27, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So it was a free play, so it doesn't matter anyway, but we'll take a look at it. Watch, here is, again, Mansfield had a great opportunity for an interception the play before. This pass gets tipped, and Collette is right there to grab it, but it's all for naught with the penalty at the line of scrimmage.
So instead of a turnover, it is 3rd and more manageable, right around 9 yards. 3rd and 9 from that 34-yard line for the Tigers, who are trying to get back even in this game with a touchdown strike potentially.
3rd down and 8 for the Tiger offense.
Tigers go with 4 wide receivers. They need to get right around the 25-yard line. This is short. Cowden underthrew the target. He was looking for Chris McCord, who has the touchdown strike. See what Princeton wants to do on 4th down.
Situation for Princeton.
Looks like they're going to punt it away. Abe Keelar, the punter, coming on. Trying to pin Mansfield deep potentially.
They're kind of trying to change things as far as field advantage. The field advantage has certainly favored Mansfield throughout this first quarter, so Princeton trying to do something about the field where they're playing as far as field is concerned. And they're going to go with a fake.
Fake, but this is not going to work. Sniffed out beautifully by Mansfield defensively. They blow the play dead at the 35-yard line, and the Mounties will take over.
So field advantage, you think Princeton was going to pin them down deep, but not the case. They try with a trick play, and it really didn't work for them. And Jake Myers and the rest of the Mansfield defense was right there to sniff that one out. Take a look at it here as they set up for the punt. It looks like they were going to pin Mansfield with some great field position, but it goes to the up man, and that is Bob Doherty, who tries to take it, and right there is Myers and the rest of the Mansfield defense to come up with a big play and the big stop, and now they have some field position to work with.
First down for Mansfield. Run play for their quarterback, and that is Ben Pepper, who gains maybe 4 on first down. Mansfield again enjoying this 14-6 lead. We are just underway in the second quarter. Going to have a special guest with us here as well from ESPN, Freddie Coleman, who is a Mansfield graduate and a former Mountie football player, is joining us. And Freddie, good to see you.
Thank you for having me up here on a very, very special night. And I would not want to be Princeton in a game like this, knowing that you're the villain in this story, playing Mansfield their first night game in 121 years.
It's been a great start here for the Mounties, and on a sweep, this is David Wallace out near midfield, the first down for Mansfield. A good start for your Mounties here with the lights on for the first time in over a century.
It's amazing because in a game like this, you always wonder what kind of emotion is going to play a part in this, because if you're Princeton, you're on the other side of that. You want to take away that emotion from Mansfield. If you're Mansfield, you want to use that emotion and ride that emotion. They've been able to do that. They have been quicker. They've been able to jump on Princeton. We'll see if Princeton can manage that and try to get this game back to a kind of a manageable way and try to take that away from Mansfield.
What's it been like, Freddie, to see all these people come back from Mansfield, all the familiar faces, all coming up to see the stadium light up again?
I'll tell you this. Plenty of us were having flashbacks because plenty of us probably want to go back out there and play a little bit. I was worried that one of my teammates would run across, try to take out a Princeton player. I'm glad that didn't happen, but if you had told me when I graduated in 1987 that this would be a part of Mansfield University with the lights and the support and everything, I would have said there's no way. We would have seen a man landing on Mars before that would have happened in Mansfield. This has been fantastic, not just for the football program, but for everybody in attendance tonight. Fantastic way to kick this off for Mansfield.
And ESPN's Freddie Coleman with us here. Handoff and nothing stirring. It stopped back at the 48-yard line. That was Estramera, stopped by Kyle Douglas. And this will set up a 3rd down now for the Mounties. When you go back to your playing days here, what kind of emotions does it stir, and what comes to mind initially?
Everything about football is such a life-changing event for a lot of people. If you have a chance to be a part of it, you're able to use a lot of these things in football and make those life lessons for you about camaraderie and dealing with people and knowing how to do the things the right way. Those are the kind of emotions I'm always going to have, because that was something that was taught to me with Tom Elsasser and his staff, that football is the greatest game in the world, and if you use that game and make it work for you in all parts of life, you're going to be a better human being. And just seeing how many of us came back and seeing the success stories of people outside of football graduating from this university, you can't ever put a price on that.
Pepper's pass there got knocked down at the line of scrimmage, so Princeton's defense has really picked up here the last couple of plays, trying to get their emotions in check and try to get back into this game. Freddie, the program football's been here since 1891, and then in 2006 it was cut. I can imagine the emotions of everyone that played football, and then they bring it back in this form, and it seemed to work. I mean, people are happy that football is back in some form here at Mansfield.
Well, that's a great point that you bring up, because there were a lot of hard feelings when the football program is taken away. And to bring some truth to the matter, even though this is great tonight, I'm sure there are plenty of other players out there that instead of having sprint football would want to be part of the PSAC and Division II football, or maybe even Division III football. But that doesn't matter tonight. When you have a night like this, it's not about hard feelings. It's not about holding on to those grudges. It's about what's going to be good for the players and what's going to be good for Mansfield University. No matter the outcome tonight, only good is going to come out of something like this, where we have a chance to turn back the clock, turn on the lights, and set history once again.
Wasn't that neat to have Chester Bailey, 101 years old, flip that switch? That was a great way to start our evening.
He had more dexterity than I do at 47 years of age. I mean, 101 years of age and being here for this, man, what a blessing that was to see and be a part of that.
This is Chad Cowden dropping back for Princeton, trailing by a score here. Oh, nearly intercepted, then nearly caught. And an incomplete pass on the far side. Again, Freddie Coleman with us here on a special night for Mansfield University. This crowd is tremendous. I mean, what a turnout tonight.
On a night like this, we know how it can be in Tioga County. It gets a little nip in the air, and people are thinking, you know what, can I duck out at halftime? I don't think we're going to see that tonight, especially if we're going to continue to see a close game, because you want to be the person that left the game and someone says, oh, man, you missed a great game between Mansfield and Princeton. So the fact that people are here staying and have a lot of passion, a lot of anticipation for this, man, this has been a terrific night for football.
Yeah, you can tell they have passion about their football program, especially tonight. Cowden firing dangerous pass, nearly intercepted. He was looking for his wide receiver. It was broken up there right around the 25-yard line. So a third down now for Princeton, trailing 14-6. Freddie Coleman with us here, broadcasting here from Mansfield tonight. Another look at this.
Now, Freddie, what do you think of the whole sprint football idea, the weight limit under 172 pounds? I mean, usually I'm enjoying the what's going on in the battle of the line of scrimmage, because usually, you know, they have the big guys that rely on their huge size, but here you really have to be good with technique as far as blocking the right way.
It's really weird seeing somebody wearing number 79 and they're 172 pounds. I think that was something that a lot of people had to try to wrap their minds around and try to wrap their arms around. But I had a chance to cover sprint football when I worked in the Hudson Valley for Cablevision, and Army has a sprint football team. It was really weird at first seeing it, but it's speedy. And when you have that kind of speed, it's eye candy for those who like football.
Look at the hit right here. Mike Busick.
Yeah, it feels like more than 172 pounds, I promise you that.
Well, the Princeton coach wanted him leading with the helmet. No, he led with his shoulder and put it right into the chest of the defender. How many times, gentlemen, have we seen that call go against the defense because it looked a lot worse than it was? But the referee was in position to say, you know what, it was a clean hit. He didn't target the player. He hit the target area with his shoulder. So that was a good non-call in that situation for Mansfield and against Princeton.
And we saw one thing, Freddie, that might be a hot topic for your ESPN radio listeners, the call where one player was ejected. That's a new rule, a interpretation rule. I haven't seen it much in the first 2 weeks of college football, but we saw it here tonight, and I'm sure it's been talked about on your radio show.
Well, plenty of people are going to talk about what happened today in the Alabama-Texas A&M game, where T.J. Yeldon scores the touchdown, does the get money sign, and then does the throat slash. Now, I don't know Nick Saban that well, but I can guarantee you he was not thrilled by what he saw from T.J. Yeldon pulling that, even though Alabama won today 49-42.
Beautiful return on the outside for David Wallace, who brings it inside the 20 for Mansfield. Let's take another look at this impressive hit, turned in by Mike Busick.
And I think the other thing that was bad there, you had one guy behind it, but it was a textbook type hit right there, as Freddie mentioned. So you see those type of hits even in sprint football.
Tiger down. We'll take a break.
Where can you dig for diamonds?
Where can you go to class with the fish?
Join an 1890s football team.
Where can you study with a ghost?
Solve a crime.
Live in the skybox.
Climb a rock wall. Perform in London.
Ride your own personal shuttle to class.
Go whitewater rafting.
At Mansfield University.
As sports medicine physician and faculty members at Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, Doctors Greg Coppola and Patrick Leary not only treat sports injuries, they exercise prevention. Medical Associates of Erie. Doctors who practice what they teach.
The lights are on here at Mansfield, where the Mounties lead 14-6. A couple of Tigers were down in the last play. One of them was Abe Keeler, the punter, who was holding one of his wrists. So we hope that he is all right, but it does not look good. And John Schaefer, Phil Shaner with you here, and a special guest from ESPN, Freddie Coleman, Mansfield's own here, coming back for this special night as the lights are on for the first time in 121 years.
Man, I graduated from this place in 1987. It seems like eons ago compared to what's going on tonight. Having the lights and having everybody here. The band has been terrific. The fireworks, man. I can't put into words exactly what this really means to this community.
It's a good return by David Wallace, Freddie. And Mansfield set up inside the red zone already at the 19-yard line. This is the sophomore signal caller Pepper bouncing and squirting out to the 15-yard line. The second-year head coach Graham Johnson is trying to take this sprint program and bring it into the upper echelon here in 2013 and beyond.
He does not want Mansfield to just be a part of sprint football and part of the Sprint Football League. He wants to be a team that year in and year out is going to compete for championships. When I had a chance to talk with him, he said, we want to be where Army and Navy are in sprint football.
Another look at the play where Keelar was injured. You see right away he came holding that right wrist. So it looks like it was Keeler. Straight up the gut. Here's the tailback. Estremera still on his feet inside the 5.
Oh, you got to love the second effort by Estremera. And Freddie, this is a tough type runner. We seen it earlier trying to get in there, and that's what you got to love. With sprint football, the size, but the passion is still there. The heart to just keep those legs pumping and turning and get that extra effort to get those extra yards.
You made a great point early in terms of you really have to have sort of like a math major mentality, because it's all about angles, it's all about physics, because your leverage point is going to be a lot lower in sprint football.
From the spot of the foul, second down.
It's going to be a lot more prevalent in sprint football, because if you have a guy across from you and he's a lot lower than you and you're a little bit taller, you can't just say, well, I'm going to body this guy, bench press this guy. He can use his speed and quickness and leverage and get around you and make plays in the backfield.
So there was a dead ball personal foul after the run by Estremera. Second down here for the Mounties. And again, it's Pepper on the keeper. Not much doing, maybe a yard. Mansfield struck immediately to take a lead. Princeton then nearly tied the score. Let's go back downstairs to Shanna.
Thanks so much, John. You know, Mansfield, you've got Freddie Coleman up with you guys, and Mansfield has a number of long storied traditions, this football program, and they've got a number of prior players here tonight that are so supportive of the sprint football program. They take the ball from the first down, the first offensive possession at every home game, and they use the last ball from the last play in 2006. Very special to connect the current team to the prior players, and you can see they're in full support tonight. John?
Yeah, that's a great point, Shannon. We'll get to that with Freddie. That is really unique from the prior program to the sprint football program. There's that carryover effect now. This is dropped. It's right off the fingertips of David Wallace. It's a neat tradition, though.
You have to give a lot of credit to Steve McCloskey, the SID, the Sports Information Director of Mansfield, because he's a graduate like I am. And he clearly understands that if you're going to go forward, if you're going to look into the future, you can't forget about the past, because those are the people that set it up. By the way, two of my former teammates there, Ray Price on the left and Todd Smith on the right, they made it a point to be here because we stand on their shoulders. They're the ones that were part of the path, part of the foundation that was laid for what we have tonight with sprint football and the lights being back on.
This is a 35-yard attempt for Kirk Haskell, and the kick is up, and this kick has the distance and is good. Kirk Haskell, the California kicker, big acquisition for Graham Johnson, makes it 17-6, and with it, we'll step aside here on the Sports Fever Television Network.
As sports medicine physician and faculty members at Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, Doctors Greg Coppola and Patrick Leary not only treat sports injuries, they exercise prevention. Medical Associates of Erie. Doctors who practice what they teach.
Hey there! Welcome
Welcome to the Roadhouse. I'm Roadhouse Rick. Come on in.
Hey, how you doing?
We're not one of them chains. We're homegrown and locally owned, where friends and families hang out and chow down on the best steaks, seafood, salads, burgers, wings, and much, much more. For more information, call 814-227-2000 or check out our menu and more at rrrroadhouse.com.
Nuts.
Kirk Haskell showing off his foot. Mansfield enjoying a 17-6 lead. Those lights look great tonight. Here in 2013, it only took 121 years to turn them back on. John Schaefer, Phil Shaner, Freddie Coleman with you here. And Mansfield, you can tell they had to dial back the energy maybe a little bit here, but they've turned it on and taken their largest lead at 17-6. But you play in a game like this is maybe one of the bigger games you'll ever play in.
I don't know how they slept the night before this game, to be honest with you, because I know I would not have been able to have any wink of sleep at all.
Short kick. This is John Wolf. Has room. Still on his feet. Spun down at the 35-yard line. So again, we talked about the fact that Mansfield for a number of years playing at the highest classification or the full classification of college football now at the sprint level. Any consideration or discussion about bringing it back?
Well, I don't know how much talk has been about that, but if there is any conversation, if there are any conversations, it has to be baby steps, because you have to remember this: as great as it is having sprint football, having a big crowd like tonight, football costs a lot of money. Yeah. I don't care if it's Division II, Division III, especially if you're going to play in the PSAC. You're going to have schools that give out a lot more scholarships than maybe Mansfield can afford to give out. So it's easy to say, okay, sprint football could be a jumping off point to maybe being back in the PSAC, maybe Division II. But that kind of undertaking, you really have to realize what you're getting into. And I hope that Mansfield realizes that and not say, okay, we got this tonight, we have lights, okay, we're ready for Division II football in a year or two. That's going to take a long time down the road if that ever comes to fruition for Mansfield.
Now, I remember, Freddie, when the announcement was made in 2006 that Mansfield was dropping football, it was such a shock to everyone because, you know, they started playing 1891. The tradition was there. You know, one of the schools, as far as the PSAC was concerned, that had one of the longest traditions of playing football. So it was such a shock that the program was going to go. And I could only imagine what that was like as far as getting all the alumni that played football. Kind of, as you mentioned before, kind of a bitter thing, but it's nice to see that they're edging it back, and then in 2008 bringing the sprint program back.
Well, to be honest with you, you make a great point, but you have to win. And I think if Mansfield was more of a winning program back in 2006, maybe it would not have been as likely for the school president at that time to just de-emphasize football and get rid of it. We live in a cold, hard world. You either produce and make money. If you can't do that, then people are going to do something in terms of making sure it's going to fit their budget. At that time, Mansfield football, being what it was, probably did not fit the ideal of what the school president wanted at the time. We'll see what the future holds in terms of what it's going to be when it comes to Mansfield football.
This is a great start with the lights and the stadium full, the new turf, the new lights. It's football reborn in a way for Mansfield and all their alums and grads. It's an exciting time right now.
2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Counting that hard count. Hand the football off. And tripped up around the 39-yard line. Princeton's tailback. That was Alex Momini with the carry, but flags fly as well on that 2nd down.
So what are some of the hot topics right now, Freddie, that you're getting into with your ESPN radio people? It's kind of a busy time of the year, isn't it?
This time of year is fantastic 42. Because you have the baseball playoffs, and I think the AL West race between Oakland and Texas is going to be fantastic. The NL Central race with Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, as well as St. Louis is going to be fantastic. I'm sure plenty of people are going to have plenty of great reaction to what we saw in college football, where Michigan had to have a goal line stand to stop being upset by Akron. Then you also had the Alabama-Texas A&M game. Nebraska getting the brakes beaten off of them by UCLA. And then, of course, we have the NFL, the Sunday religion, known as the National Football League, tomorrow. And I know storylines will be a part of that.
2nd and 5, and a stop for a loss. Jake Myers, I believe, in on the stop there. That was Momini on the carry, but lost 2 yards back to the 38.
If you're in doubt, you could say Jake Myers and the rest of that defensive unit is really, the defense is, the coaches were right. They were impressed with the defensive unit and getting ready for the season, and they are a pretty strong unit. A lot of big plays made by the Mansfield defense, especially from the linebackers.
You mentioned a big day in college football, but again, up here a big night as well, up in North Pennsylvania for Mansfield football. And you look around the nation, all these great games, but tonight's atmosphere for Mansfield is a tremendous one. This is Cowden with time. Looking near side and laying out for a football. Making the play at the 44-yard line is John Wolf.
What a great catch by John Wolf, the full extension there. That was a pretty catch to get his at least 1 foot down, and we'll see it right here. Take a look, Freddie, at this play. This is pretty nice as he extends himself to get that foot in and even the knee down as well. Nice catch.
And he maintained possession till the end of that catch because it bobbled a little bit, but he was able to maintain possession and keep it in. Interesting call here if you're Princeton, down 17-6, 8:35 to play in the second quarter. Looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down and 1 at their own 44-yard line.
Yeah, so 4th and short here for Princeton. Remember, their punter was banged up a bit, Abe Keeler, where he went up, came up lame with that right wrist. So they will go for it 4th and 1. It's a keeper. And it looks like the Tigers have with counted on the keeper for 2, and he'll get the spot, and Princeton will keep this drive alive.
Get one more look at that real pretty catch, the extension there, and able to hold on. Oh, uh-oh. The second look at that one, I don't know if he did have control of that.
Well, we have lights here, but not instant replay.
That's right.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah, second look on that one, and Freddie, it looked like it kind of bounced up there off the turf, so I don't know if he had control there on our second look.
Yeah.
We'll get another look at it here and give one more look at it. Let's see. He has it there, his knees down clearly, but that's
no
not
catch.
a catch. That's not a catch.
That's not a catch, but if you're Princeton, you'll take it. We'll see if Mansfield can make sure it doesn't hurt.
Hey, that's why we have the Sports Fever crew here. They can get shots like that, good shots by the guys in the truck. But the officials, unfortunately, can no red flags for the coaches to throw that out and take a look at that catch.
The reason he got the call in his favor, he sold it so well to the official that the official gave him the benefit of the doubt. He popped up immediately and said, I had the catch, and the official said, okay, I didn't see anything that would lead me to believe otherwise. So good selling job by the Princeton receiver, and it pays off. Now they have a second down to the 50-yard line.
Now, Freddie, what it was like for you to come here? A lot of people from all different backgrounds, some from New York City area. How was it to adjust to Mansfield and where you are in the mountains here, the northern tier in Pennsylvania?
I tell you what, the first time I saw this field and I saw the trees surrounding the field, I fell in love with this place immediately because, believe me, when you're a kid like I am from Brooklyn, New York, and you've never heard of Mansfield, Pennsylvania, and the only time you heard of this school or heard of this area was when they sent a brochure in the mail, and you're thinking, that looks like a pretty good place, a cool place to be. I had no idea that when I got my degree how special this place would turn out. So believe me, the first time I was able to run onto the football field, I said, man, I never thought I'd play college football. And here I am having a chance to do that in a very good conference in the PSAC playing against Millersville and Kutztown and Bloomsburg and people like that. Believe me, this place allowed me to exceed any kind of dreams that I would have ever thought in terms of earning my degree, getting my degree, and playing college football.
Midway through the second quarter, we'll step aside here on the Sports Fever Television Network.
Mansfield University.
More than 70 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, a liberal arts foundation to help you prepare for a lifetime of careers. A small rural campus nestled in the mountains of north central Pennsylvania. Faculty and staff who are here to help you learn and to help you succeed. Mansfield University, developing tomorrow's leaders.
I'm General Fran Hendricks, and I learned to be a leader at Mansfield University. I'm proud to say I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie.
I'm a Mountie. I'm a Mountie.
I'm Fran Hendricks, president of Mansfield University in class of 1979, and I invite you to be a Mountie too.
Today's special presentation of college football on the Sports Fever Television Network is brought to you by Mansfield University, Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board Bureau of Alcohol Education, Clarion's RRR Roadhouse Restaurant, and the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency.
Mansfield has flipped the switch tonight and turned the lights on, taking a 17-6 lead here. Princeton driving at midfield, a 3rd and 6. Cowan, the freshman, under center. fires, has a man. It's complete for a first down and more. It's Chris McCord, who had that 66-yard touchdown reception earlier to extend the drive for the Tigers.
Does a great job getting in and out of his breaks quickly, and great on-time throw, because before he made his break, that ball was already in the air. When you can get out of your breaks quickly and create that separation, you make your quarterback very happy on the sidelines when he goes to the offense coordinator and say, let's call that play again.
You know, lost in tonight is Mansfield had the first ever night football game. We've talked about that all evening. Princeton played in the first ever college football game against Rutgers back in the late 1860s. So really an evening of first, with Mansfield squaring off against Princeton here in Sprint football.
They say the first 120 years are the hardest. So now that they've gotten that out of the way, if you're Mansfield University, it should be all gravy from here. But I saw so many articles around the nation, either online or in print, leading up to this game this week. A lot of people giving this game a lot of attention.
Well, think about it. I mean, Monday Night Football changed the concept of the National Football League.
That's a great point.
And this is where it started, in this little small town in northern, northeast Pennsylvania, northern tier, I should say. And this is where it started, night football. And now, what would football be without a night game? I mean, that's where it is. I mean, it's Sunday night and Monday night. I mean, that's Thursday night football. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, think if it was never invented afterwards. We're still playing all the games during the day.
Can you imagine? There would be husbands all over the country just really upset because when you have a honey-do list and you got to get rid of it Saturdays and Sundays and there's no night football to watch, there'd be a lot of unhappy men in this country without night football.
Now they back this up. There was a penalty against Princeton, so now 3rd and 18 from the 40, and flags fly again.
Delay game.
And this will be a delay game.
Delay game. Number 15 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So Princeton is heading back towards Princeton. We'll head downstairs to Shannon.
Thanks so much, John. Well, we've talked a lot about the lights tonight, but we haven't talked a lot about the lights back in 1892. It was a push by General Electric. They strung a bunch of lights together, and I'm not talking about surrounding the field. I'm talking in the middle of the field. The refs cut the game short. It was too dark, but the players were tackling their own teammates and running into the lights in the middle of the field. Now, of course, no lights an issue, but John, they also didn't have numbers on their jerseys. Can you imagine calling a game sans numbers?
I can't. Sounds terrible. Deep throw here and good coverage, but a flag flies. This might be interference. As Princeton trying to extend a drive on 3rd and 23. It was Dylan Flexer. We've called his name a lot. It appeared to be decent coverage from up here, but might have had an arm on the backside as well.
That's what happens when you play the ball and not play the man, because he was in good position. But if he had stayed where he was and then made a break on the ball, he'd have been able to be in better position where he did not have to make contact. And when you play that kind of zone defense and you retreat just a little bit, you have the advantage, and he gave that advantage away.
Pass interference on the defense, number 25. Those penalties offset, 3rd down.
So actually offsetting penalties, which is a break for Mansfield. It'll be another 3rd and long for Princeton. So what you were talking about, Freddie. You can see he kind of wrapped that right arm around the receiver.
He was in great position. He could have stepped in front of the receiver because he was able to make a great break on the ball. Instead, he let the ball play him instead of playing the ball. He got bailed out by the fact that that penalty offset with the penalty against Princeton.
Still a 3rd and 23 here for the Tigers, trailing 17-6 at Mansfield. Freshman under center is in trouble. Now fires downfield into double coverage, and this is nearly intercepted. Underthrew the intended target. McCord setting up a long 4th down.
Just had to get the ball out there. Pressure was coming, so had to throw it down the field and didn't have much of a choice there. And that's and again, I'm impressed with Mansfield's defense. They're getting some decent pressure. The linebackers are solid. Even the guys up front are creating a lot of pressure. So the coaches were right. The defensive side is they thought was the strong point coming in, and it showed that tonight so far against Princeton.
If Princeton's going to make sure to slow down that kind of pressure, they have to vary their snap count. Everything is on one. So now Mansfield, with their quickness and knowing that, can time it and really get a jump ahead of the offensive lineman and create that pressure.
McCord to punt it away. Remember, the punter was injured earlier, and now flags fly again prior to the punt on 4th and 23. A timeout actually taken prior to that punt attempt for the Tigers, who trail 17-6. We're late in the 2nd quarter, and we'll step aside and come back with more from Mansfield.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, you two. It's dinner time.
When Marcus and Michelle were starting their family, they came to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for their home loan. We're proud we could help Marcus, Michelle, and Mia. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help home ownership dreams come true.
As sports medicine physician and faculty members at Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, Doctors Greg Coppola and Patrick Leary not only treat sports injuries, they exercise prevention. Medical Associates of Erie. Doctors who practice what they teach.
Back at Mansfield with this new turf surface, not just the lights, but this beautiful playing surface as well for Mansfield and Princeton. Tigers punting. Again, their punter was injured. Here's the QB kicking it away. Cowden. Decent punt up to the 40-yard line. Here's Wallace with room. Dancing near midfield, still on his feet and into Tiger territory. And that is where Mansfield will take over. John Schaefer, Phil Shaner, ESPN's Freddie Coleman, and Mansfield's Freddie Coleman as well, joining us here in the second quarter. We appreciate you swinging by. And for Graham Johnson, we talked about it. What do you think it'll take to get to that Army, Navy, upper echelon level in terms of sprint football?
That's a really good question. I think the answer is you have to have a belief system, put that system in place, and make sure that everybody buys in. When you have an identity, any championship team, you can say, okay, who are the Miami Heat? You know their identity. Who are the Baltimore Ravens? You know their identity. I think that's something that he is going to have to establish here at Mansfield in sprint football. What is their identity, and make sure everybody's on board with it.
It's Casey Huff with the completion and a first down down to the 35-yard line, and he comes up limp, walking off that Mansfield sideline. You talk with Graham Johnson. He talks about, I'm recruiting not just good football players. I'm recruiting character, integrity, academics. The football will come. You recruit all of it. You don't just recruit football. As, again, a look at this first down play. I think sometimes people can forget about it. They see Division I football, and you think, oh, it's football only. There's some room into the secondary inside the 30-yard line. There's a lot, even Division I football, that goes into it outside of just the football field.
It's very easy to be seduced by what football can represent and how much you can get out of it, how much it can bring you. As we see the injured Mansfield player in the sidelines. And if you're Graham Johnson, you have to sell exactly the kind of effort you're going to see from players like this trying to get those extra yards.
Yeah, there was the injury right there. You had the ankle there.
2nd and 6. Pepper handoff. Estremera fighting forward inside the 25, close to the sticks. Good-looking young football player there.
Estremera, he like kind of just is the symbol of what sprint football is all about. With the undersized guy, and he's out there living a dream. I mean, he probably couldn't play a different style with bigger players, but this is perfect for him. This is and he has the heart, he sees the passion, and that's what sprint football is all about, guys like him.
And sprint football was to give more teams an opportunity. They're looking to add 2 or 3 more teams in the future of this league.
This is Estremera again with the room up the middle. Tripped up inside the 20. He's had a good evening on the ground for the Mounties.
It's shocking to me, Freddie, that there's only 8 teams that have a sprint football program. You think this thing would take off? We were talking about it before we came on. Like, places like Iowa, they have 8-man teams for high school. You think there would be more places in the country with the way football is and the love of everyone playing football, that you'd have more teams throughout the country than just the 8 that are in the league.
People have to get over the fact that you can't look at it as glorified Pop Warner, and I think that's something that has to change for more people to be on board with sprint football.
Pepper on the zone read. Man lost the football. It's loose. Who has it? Looks like the Tigers do. Princeton pounced on it, and a Tiger got a claw in there, and Pepper got stripped, and a Mansfield drive comes to an end, it appears.
Pepper did a great job there selling that on the option read, but then when he got through the line, tried to go for some extra yards, he for some reason put the ball out there. Anytime you do that, you have a chance to get it knocked away, and that's what happened there. So that was a big turnover for Princeton. They needed that. Watch them as the guys that get the ball, had it kind of trapped behind his backside there and busted out free. And Princeton with a very big turnover because Mansfield was driving in, trying to get more points. So that was a break for Mansfield to get the ball, or for Princeton to get the ball back.
I give Princeton's defense a lot of credit because early on they got punched in the mouth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times by the offense. They didn't fold it. They didn't dial it back. They've been able to step up and make some plays of their own.
This is Chad Cowden. Just keeps it rolling out. Doesn't have much room, though, and runs out of bounds, probably wisely. A number of defenders on pursuit, including Dylan Flexer. This is a quarterback that played a wing T offense in high school in Chad Cowden.
Cowden right there sells it. They'll watch him go here and get the extra yards. There's one guy that's going to get hit, and that's one of our Sports Fever camera guys. He takes the biggest hit of the night. Matt goes down right there. Watch.
You use the right word wisely for 2 reasons. Number one, for the quarterback, because now he has a different occupation, quarterback and punter. And Matt, self-preservation, getting out of the way.
2nd and 8. It looks like someone may have jumped on the line for Princeton. Maybe Bob Doherty. Princeton backing themselves
Offense
up.
number 2. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Mounties have never lost to Princeton in sprint football. One of their 2 wins last year. There's Matty.
We've had enough injuries tonight. Good thing Matty's not on the IR. I mean, we're kind of like a sprint football team. We only have so many camera guys to go around.
Only so many made the travel team, because of budgetary concerns.
Yeah, so we're good that Matty's okay. Thank goodness. That's his shot right there that we just saw. So he's up and running.
Tigers have about 90 yards in front of them and can't get much on a 1st down run attempt. Again, Jake Myers in on a stop. We've said his name a ton tonight for Mansfield.
They're going to get a personal foul on 42, and they're going to call taunting because he jumped and danced around the running back. You can't have that. When you have a team backed up inside their 10-yard line and 2:36 to play in the 1st half, you force them to punt. The fact that they have a backup punter, their quarterback,
defense.
That's a bad penalty.
15-yard penalty. 1st down.
What's really going to upset Mansfield's coaching staff, that's the 2nd taunting one that they had, and they had another play that ejected the player earlier that we talked about. Yeah, so I mean those are the kind of mistakes. We'll take a look at it right here. Right's 37. Yeah, there was a little punch and a little jab up to the face mask right there. That's a little too much going on. You got to get your emotions in check. You're playing under the lights, a big crowd here. You're on TV, but you got to be able to keep your emotions in check because you're just hurting your football team.
Absolutely, and especially now you give Princeton a little momentum and motivation, and now they're out of their own end zone.
A 1st down carry again for the Tigers. Maybe a yard or 2, not much more. That was A.J. Sibley, the starting tailback for the Tigers, who are outmanned when you look at the roster size tonight. Mansfield's Graham Johnson has nearly a full roster. You can have 65. He has near 60. Tigers traveling about 30 tonight.
They may need you 2 guys and Matt out there if this keeps up with all the injuries that they've suffered, because if you're a coaching staff and you can't bring a lot of players as a traveling squad situation anyway, and now you lose a couple of key components, you really have to pitch and patch and hope that other guys don't get injured and that you can be able to make some plays.
Final 90 seconds of the 1st half with Mansfield leading Princeton. Here's 17-6. Can it design a run up the middle, and nothing stirring for Ridley. As the Tigers might be content to try to use some of this clock. Mansfield is going to take a timeout with 1:19 to play in the 1st half. Again, the Mounties leading the Tigers by a score of 17-6 as the Mounties struck first and have really controlled play here in the 1st half. Ready for a spectacular experience? Play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, $1 million spectacular. 5 top prizes of $1 million. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. John Schaefer and Phil Shaner are with you here. Freddie Coleman from ESPN with us as well. A proud Mounties grad, a member of the football team back in the late 80s.
for life, 1987.
A lot of Mansfield University grads walking around Bristol on the ESPN campus. Or are you the only one?
Oh, no, we have 8 people that have graduated from Mansfield
good
that work for
communication
ESPN.
school.
Yeah, we could have our own alumni chapter.
Now, Freddie, I'm from Syracuse, so I know there's a lot of Syracuse
My wife
guys
is a Syracuse grad.
I know there's a lot of Syracuse people walking around Bristol, right?
Yeah, we can't get enough of them, believe me. But when you have a school like that, you can learn so much from them. We really feed off of each other really well at the worldwide leader.
79 seconds to play here in the 1st half. A 3rd and 7 for the Tigers. And again, they'll hand it off, and a stuff in the backfield, and a huge hit made by Anthony Mazzone as the Mounties will take a timeout here. and trying to get the football back. We'll take a timeout. We'll see if the Mounties can strike late in the first half after this.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, you two. It's dinner time.
When Marcus and Michelle were starting their family, they came to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for their home loan. We're proud we could help Marcus, Michelle, and Mia. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help home ownership dreams come true.
As sports medicine physicians and faculty members at Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, Doctors Greg Coppola and Patrick Leary not only treat sports injuries, they exercise prevention. Medical Associates of Erie. Doctors who practice what they teach.
You can pick up a copy of tonight's game from Mansfield. You can email PASportsFever@PA.net or any prior game of the Sports Fever television network. This has been a special night. Please pick it up, PASportsFever@PA.net. Princeton is punting. Mansfield wants to get one last crack in the final minute here, leading already 17-6. Remember, the regular punter is out. That's a good kick. Gonna be down right around the 45-yard line. 65 seconds to play. We'll see what Mansfield has in store here. A little hurry-up offense. 55 yards to go.
I like Ben Pepper, their quarterback, only a sophomore. Seems to have a great feel for the game. He's only going to learn more by being out there with experience, knowing exactly, okay, in this situation, and really thinking the game through. I like his athleticism. I like the fact that he's playing unafraid. It could be very easy on a night like this to kind of dial it back. He's let his instincts take over. We'll see what kind of instincts he has on this drive to try to get Mansfield in the position to score.
I like what Graham Johnson said. I talked to him this week. He said he's like a duck. He's calm on water, but underneath he's swimming really quickly. And here the throw on the outside is incomplete. I mean, he's one of these competitors. He's a fiery guy, athletic guy. He's trying to will this team to an opening night win here tonight as well.
You need players like that other guys will look at and say, no matter what's going on, I know we're going to be okay because that guy's going to make sure we're going to be okay.
Some pressure, and this throw was behind the intended target of Sean Green. Second down for the Mounties on their own 45. Pepper has a man that's complete, but he's strung down. It was caught by Joe Busick. Kadeem Cohen's on the stop. Mansfield's going to have to hurry here in the final minute.
Let's see what the sophomore can do with the clock running and trying to get the hurry-up offense going.
Third down for Peppers. Has a man over the middle, but overthrew the target. That was David Wallace, who's had a nice night on the return game and as a receiver as well. Now it's fourth down, and we'll see what they want to do.
This was the completion before. A nice route there to move the chains and gets it to Busick, who gets it there. And the last play, just a little high to Wallace. Couldn't make that catch, but you're trying to, now at 4th and 7, you don't want to, can't really do much with it, so you want to, obviously have with a 17-6 lead at the half, want to get that ball back. You had your opportunity, didn't work out for you, but it's something to, certainly a lot of things for Mansfield to build on. A lot of good things happen, and some things that they'll have to clean up at half as well with some of the penalties that they had here in the first half.
That was nearly blocked. Sean Green got it away. Nobody back deep. He's going to pin Princeton inside the 20-yard line.
Now, Freddie, I guess back in the 2000s and all, the most special time, I guess, for a Saturday afternoon at Mansfield was at halftime when this great band came off the field. And they're getting ready to go on the field here at halftime. The Mansfield band is pretty well known around the state, and the area is one of the top bands around.
This is how great the band is. When my dad, when I was coming up here this week, and he says, the band is still good, right? Because he remembers when he came to watch me play, and he thought the band was fantastic. He said, I hope that's still the same. I said, Dad, you do not have to worry about the music department and the band at Mansfield. They continue to get it in.
Yeah, I think there's a reason they call it the spirit and pride of Pennsylvania, right here in the heart of Pennsylvania in Mansfield. Final play of this first half will be a knee. Hey, Freddie, thank you so much for swinging by.
Gentlemen,
great seeing you.
It was my pleasure.
Thanks,
thank
Freddie.
you so much,
Good to
guys.
see you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you again.
Freddie Coleman, Mansfield alum with ESPN. We thank him for swinging by here as the first half will come to an end with Mansfield leading Princeton by a score of 17-6. They're looking Freddie joining us here as the second quarter will come to an end here on this cold night. Still a summer night technically, but a chilly evening it will be for the second half. As again, Mansfield has taken a 17-6 lead into the intermission, striking early. Princeton did get a long score on a 66-yard touchdown strike to Chris McCord, but Mansfield has scored the last 10 points of the first half. So again, at the break here, it is Mounties 17, Tigers 6, as Mansfield and Princeton get their 2013 season underway on this Saturday evening in Tioga County. So we are going to send things downstairs momentarily. Again, with Mansfield leading Phil by a score of 17-6 here at the intermission. A lot of good things if you're Graham Johnson. I'm sure he'll have a lot of good to say and also probably talk about some of the penalties in the first half as well.
Yeah, penalties were a problem. That'll be addressed by the coach, but definitely some things. The defense played well. The linebackers playing great, and they got some things going as far as rhythm was concerned offensively. But some of the penalties will upset the coaching staff, and I'm sure that's going to be talked about in the locker room at the half.
Jeremy Estromera had a first half touchdown run for Mansfield. Chris McCord had that 66-yard catch for Princeton. The rest of the offense has been on a couple of safeties. There's been some field goals as well for Mansfield as they are trying to make it 7-0 all-time against Princeton in sprint football. And again, this is the rematch of a game won by Mansfield last year to open the season in New Jersey by a score of 23-16. So again, we are at the break here at Mansfield, and the Tigers trailing by 11. Let's send things downstairs to Shanna.
Thanks so much, John. Here with Coach Johnson. And Coach, what a big night for the program, for your kids, for your staff. How inspired and excited were they to come out tonight?
They were very inspired, very excited, probably a little bit too much. But we kind of settled down after the first couple of minutes and we started playing decent football, but we got a lot of things we need to still fix. So we're going to go into halftime, make some adjustments, and try to put on a better performance in the second half.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck in the second. John, back to you.
That is Graham Johnson. We're at the half here at Mansfield with the Mounties leading 17-6. Halftime coverage that comes up after a break right here on the Sports Fever Television Network.
Guys, just in time.
When Julie wanted to provide some stability for her two boys, she reached out to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for her home loan. We're proud we could help Julie and her family. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help homeownership dreams come true.
More than 70 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, a liberal arts foundation to help you prepare for a lifetime of careers. A small rural campus nestled in the mountains of north central Pennsylvania. Faculty and staff who are here to help you learn and to help you succeed. Mansfield University, developing tomorrow's leaders.
If you love the outdoors and want a career that's fun and challenging, check out the Mansfield University Fisheries Program. Small classes, personal attention, hands-on experience in streams, ponds, and lakes in the beautiful mountains surrounding Mansfield. Be a part of one of the most comprehensive programs anywhere. We'll prepare you for careers around the world. I'm Aaron McNevin, and if you want a rewarding outdoor career, contact us today.
People have their own ideas about miracles. Some will tell you miracles are irrefutable signs of divinity. Others will say they're nothing more than myth. But one thing cannot be denied. When mind, body, and spirit work together, truly together, the impossible becomes suddenly possible. This is what we teach at LECOM. This is a calling that we can help you fulfill. LECOM, can you hear the calling?
It is halftime on a special night at Mansfield. They've turned the lights on for the first time in 121 years, and the Mounties lead the Tigers of Princeton by a score of 17-6. John Schaefer and Phil Shaner back with you, and a special presentation is going on right now at the half at Mansfield. A Hall of Fame presentation going on right now on field. A special evening here as we watch that.
Our next honoree is Mansfield Junior baseball player, Nick Keener. Junior, who was drafted in the 10th round last year by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Nick was the highest draft pick of any PSAC baseball player this past season. Nick plays for the Dodger team in the Cactus League, and oh, by the way, Nick was the winning pitcher in his very first game pitch. Nick Keener. Our next honoree, Jess Scordino. Jess was a rare three-time All-American this past year, earning All-American honors with a 24th overall finish at the NCAA Cross Country Championship. Jess followed up that exceptional performance with All-American honors in the 5,000 and 10,000 meters at the NCAA Outdoor Championship. Jess was also an academic All-American. Ladies and gentlemen, an outstanding track athlete. We're fortunate to have her, Jess Scordino. And our final honoree this evening accomplished one of the greatest feats in Mansfield sports history. Brene Edwards not only was a two-time All-American in the 5,000 and 10,000 meters, she became the first track and field national champion in school history by winning the 10,000 meters by almost a lap against her closest competition. Brene won that race by an amazing 57 seconds. 2 days later, Brene finished second in the 5,000 meter national championship as well. Brene is also an academic All-American, and Brene is being presented with her citation of accomplishment from Governor Tom Corbett that's being presented to her by General Hendricks. Ladies and gentlemen, a true track and field superstar, Brene Edwards. How about one final round of applause for all of our great athletes and their super accomplishments last season. And speaking of super...
Special night here at Mansfield with the Mounties leading 17-6. Halftime coverage continues after this break.
Hi, sweetheart. Hey, you two. It's dinner time.
When Marcus and Michelle were starting their family, they came to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for their home loan. We're proud we could help Marcus, Michelle, and Mia. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency.
Today's special presentation of college football on the Sports Fever Television Network is brought to you by Mansfield University, Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board Bureau of Alcohol Education, Clarion's RRR Roadhouse Restaurant, and the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency.
Band is led on the field by student staff, including drum majors Ashley Peters, Amanda Kokenauer, and Eric Smolowski. With this year's show being a tribute to the great composer Ludwig van Beethoven, our field show began with selections from his famous Fifth Symphony. The Spirit and the Pride is one of the finest marching bands on the East Coast and performs all over the state of Pennsylvania. including this season at Sarah's Music Festival on September 25th, Intercollegiate Marching Festival in Allentown from September 28th, and Chapter Championships at the Tournament of Bands in November. This is our first show of the season, and we're excited to share our with you at this point. You might find it interesting to know that the band arrives early for these performances. They do it of their own accord, and they give up countless hours to be able to entertain crowds here and around Pennsylvania. Next, we'll feature Symphony Number 6, selections from Symphony Number 6. Next, the band would like to feature our outstanding drum line in the piano sonata known as the Moonlight Sonata. Closes their halftime tonight with selections from Beethoven's Symphony Number 9. Check out our outstanding color guard in this exciting closer.
The spirit and pride of Pennsylvania Mansfield Marching Band. More from Mansfield after this break.
Hey there, welcome to the Roadhouse. I'm Roadhouse Rick. Come on in.
Hey, how you doing?
We're not one of them chains. We're homegrown and locally owned, where friends and families hang out and chow down on the best steaks, seafood, salads, burgers, wings, and much, much more. For more information, call 814-227-2000 or check out our menu and more at rrrroadhouse.com. Nice.
Where can you dig for diamonds?
Where can you go to class with the fish?
Join an 1890s football team.
Where can you study with a ghost?
Solve a crime.
Live in the skybox.
Climb a rock wall. Perform in London.
Ride your own personal shuttle to class.
Go whitewater rafting.
At Mansfield University.
It's said that we use less than 15% of our brains. Some call this unrealized potential. Even scientists speculate what the world would be like if we could use more. At LECOM, we teach that when mind, body, and spirit truly work together, the unthinkable can happen. To see human potential taken to the next level, to treat disease, to give hope. This is a calling that we can help you fulfill. LECOM, can you hear the calling?
Mansfield University.
More than 70 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, a liberal arts foundation to help you prepare for a lifetime of careers. A small rural campus nestled in the mountains of north central Pennsylvania. Faculty and staff who are here to help you learn and to help you succeed. Mansfield University, developing tomorrow's leaders.
17-6 Mansfield at the break. Shanna is with the special guest downfield right now.
Thanks so much, John. Well, we're here with President of Mansfield, General Fran Hendricks. And President, you ended up back at Mansfield. You are an alum. Tell us a little bit about the journey back here.
Well, I spent 33 years in the military, and this opportunity presented itself to come back and to help other young men and women achieve their goals in life. That's why I'm here. This is all about their journey, and I'm now back to assist them just like I was assisted when I was a student here.
That's such a great philosophy. And of course, you've took office in May, so it's safe to say you've settled in a little bit. What's your mission? What do you see your plans for the university going forward?
Our plans here are to stand on the shoulders of those who came before us as we help these young men and women you're seeing here tonight as they progress through their studies and prepare themselves to be leaders in their community, for the Commonwealth, and for the nation.
Absolutely. That's quite a statement. But we've got such a stage here tonight. The history surrounding the game, the lights coming back on after 121 years. How big is this, not only for the football program, but the university as a whole?
Well, it's big for the university. It's also big for the whole community here. Chester Bailey, class of 1935, 101 years old, threw the switch tonight. This is all about the northern tier here. This is where football under the lights was first played 121 years ago, and we're proud to be playing again here tonight.
Chester, quite spry this evening, though. I'll tell you what. Thanks so much, President. Thank you so much for joining us. We're glad to be here. John, let's send it back to you.
Thank you, Shanna. That is Fran Hendricks. We are at the half. Mansfield leading 17-6. We're going to take a look back at some of the first half highlights that have gotten us to this current 17-6 lead for the Mounties.
Well, it didn't take the Mounties long. 6-play, 36-yard drive capped off the score, and it was 7-0. But Princeton came back, 66-yard pass, catch by McCord. From Cowden, it was 7-6, and then they go for 2 and watch the big play from Mansfield as Jonathan Keeler picks it up and runs it all the way back for 2 to make it 9-6. And a lot of scoring, 20 points in the first quarter. The second quarter was a little quieter with only a field goal, and that's where we are at the half, 17-6. But some stats of interest, John, as far as the defense is concerned for Mansfield. How about Princeton with only 9 yards rushing, and Mansfield with 122 yards rushing on the ground. Passing-wise, Princeton with 95 yards, 66 of them coming with that touchdown strike, and 48 yards passing for Mansfield. Total offense, 104 for Princeton and 170 for Mansfield.
Remember the first half, a lot of penalties. We had some injuries in the first half as well. Princeton traveling only about 30 here tonight, and because of that, we'll have a running clock in the second half with Mansfield leading 17-6.
A lot of the offense and a lot of the opportunities for Princeton to move the ball was on penalties. 8 penalties by Mansfield for 90 yards and 6 penalties on Princeton for 48 yards. So a lot of penalties between these two teams so far tonight in the first half.
Ben Pepper was 4 of 11, the quarterback for Mansfield, threw for 48 yards. Chad Cowden, the freshman, 5 of 13, 95 yards, and that 66-yard strike. Remember, get ready for a spectacular experience. Play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, $1 million spectacular with 5 top prizes of $1 million. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly.
So one thing we know that Coach talked about at the half is he was not pleased with all the penalties and some of the unsportsmanlike penalties. As he said, his team was a little too hyped at the fact that the switch was flipped and we're playing night football at the place where night football was born back in 1892. So those things need to be cleared up, and that was, I'm sure, was the #1 topic in the locker room addressed with the Mansfield team.
Yeah, it almost had the feeling like all of the energy, all of the nerves, that everyone needed to kind of calm down a bit. Maybe that's why you have some of the taunting penalties. You had a targeting penalty. Both sides have had some false starts, but it almost felt like all the energy, they had to adjust to that.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the case. We're taking a look at the quarterbacks as they get warmed up, and I'm impressed with that guy on your screen right there now, Ben Pepper, as you mentioned. John, 4 of 11, 48 yards. But besides that, it just he was very poised. Only a sophomore. He showed that he could lead this offense, and I think that Mansfield is in good hands with Ben Pepper when he has the football in his hands, leading this team as the quarterback.
Princeton's going to kick it away as we get this second half started from Mansfield.
Then you saw Jake Myers. Jake Myers just had an outstanding first half defensively. He's the defensive leader. I mean, he is a guy that's going to make things happen. He had 4 tackles, just a great first half. And the defense in general, I thought, played very, very well for Mansfield. And like I said, Princeton only has 9 yards of total rushing, and the defensive job done by Mansfield has been outstanding here tonight in the first half.
Dylan Flexer is back deep to return. The kick's going to come from Lucas Howard, I believe. That is Howard right there, positioning the football.
We look on the sidelines of Princeton. You mentioned it, the crutches are out. There's like I'm counting 1, 2, 3 players that are looks like they're injured and will not return to this game. So numbers is a concern for the Princeton Tigers.
When we got started right around 7:30, the temperature was probably close to 70 degrees. We're going to be in the 30s before tonight's all said and done. A very cold evening here in Tioga County. This kick will end up out of bounds, and there's another penalty to begin this second half.
Howard's kickoff goes out of bounds. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
so the kickoff goes out of bounds. This will be our first look at Mansfield in the second half under the sophomore signal caller, Ben Pepper.
Record at all levels for a regular season field hockey game.
Mansfield offensively in that first half was better overall than Princeton. Not just Pepper with the 4 for 11, 48 yards, but really Jeremy Estromera.
A lot of airtime tonight for our referee. I mean, the referees have been quite busy, so a lot of airtime for him. And just an unbelievable special weekend here at Mansfield.
Estromera is denied by Kyle Douglas in on the stop. Again, we'll play with that running clock here in the second half. They just announced the attendance at Mansfield. What a night this has been. They turned the lights on for the first time in over a century, and there are 6,223 here. That is the school record.
Yeah, it is a great, great night, and that's what, they were kind of expecting. They have as far as the seats are concerned, but then they have these great hills here at the stadium where you can sit out with a blanket and enjoy the game, and over 6,000 fans did, and a big crowd today for the field hockey as well. They set a Division II field hockey attendance record with over 2,000.
Over 2,000. Pepper there stumbling over his own feet, and quickly a third down and long for Mansfield.
So passing down here for Pepper. on this 3rd and 13. He needs to get some yards here to get that first down. And I mean, Pepper in the, we mentioned before, in the first half, 4 of 11.
Casey Huff, a couple of those receptions. Joe Busick, the other 2. A little end around here. Plenty of room. It's going to be a first down and more for Mansfield. David Wallace does a nice job of the ground tonight for the Mounties. Has it out for a first down to the 40-yard line.
There you see some speed by David Wallace, Parkland High School, the senior, right here. Good little play action, and Wallace goes around the end, gets some blocks, and then the speed to pick up some positive yardage, but short of that first down. So a punting situation now for the Mounties.
Graham Johnson said that David Wallace, pound for pound, was one of his best players. Needs to get the ball in his hands. Kick is away. This is a very good kick. Takes a Mounties bounce. And will eventually roll dead inside the 25-yard line, where Princeton will start the second half for the first time offensively. We remind you, you can pick up a copy of tonight's broadcast right now by emailing pasportsfever@pa.net. A historic night at Mansfield recaptured. You can grab a DVD, pasportsfever@pa.net, or go online to pasportsfever.com.
We better start pumping them out, because of the over 6,000 people here tonight. They're going to want to see this and then capture their part of history. They saw it for their own eyes, but now they can keep it and have it on DVD. I don't think they had a DVD or any kind of video of the first game under the lights in 1892. So you can keep this one here in 2013 as a great memory. 121 years later, lighting up football again at night at Mansfield.
Yeah, I think that was probably a beta or VHS initially. Loss of a yard or 2 on this running attempt. A.J. Sibley, the primary ball carrier for Princeton in the first half, who had 8 carries for 5 yards in the first half, loses 1 there. And another flag. Is a holding against the Tigers.
Again, we mentioned all the penalties in the first half. There was quite a few, but you also got to account for this is the first game of the season for both Princeton and Mansfield, and a lot of times you do have those type of penalties, a lot of the holding penalties, a lot of things that later in the season you don't see as many of, but especially for our first game, sometimes you get a lot of those early penalties.
And for Princeton also, a lot of first-year players, a very limited roster, guys playing both ways. And you've seen that a bit here tonight. Team that's winless over the last 2 years in the CSFL. Lengthy throw downfield, nearly intercepted right through the arms of Mike Busick.
Yeah, a lot of Mansfield, a lot of red jerseys there, a lot of Mansfield players around there, including Busick. We've seen, I would say, at least 2 or 3 plays now so far in this game that were nearly picked off by Mansfield's D-backs, and Busick had a great opportunity to take that one, was unable to. Again, a lot of red shirts throwing into, I count 3, 4 red shirts around one Princeton player trying to get that ball in there, and that's tough to do when you have that many D-backs in one area.
Talking to Stephen Everett earlier this week, he said, listen, we've come a long way. We have a long way to go. They had their 16 practices this summer, but still work to be done as this pass is nearly intercepted. It'll be 3rd and 20 for the Tigers, backed up in their own end.
Jake Myers almost coming up with a big interception. And again, it's just a matter of, I'm very impressed with the Mansfield defense and their secondary and their linebackers able to drop back into coverage, and that's what Myers did there, nearly had an interception. And Princeton right now is coming out here in the second half trying to find some answers offensively.
Just 100 total yards of offense for the Tigers here tonight. They trail 17-6. Nearly 70% of their offense on one play. The Chris McCourt touchdown strike from that man.
We had 95 yards of total passing in the first half, and as you said, they're all 66 on that one touchdown play.
Count in trouble, nearly threw an interception. And Princeton will have to punt. A good defensive stand turned in by Mansfield. On coverage was Kenny Burks.
And Burks was the closest one to that, so we saw 3 passes in a row where there was more red shirts around than the white shirts for Princeton. So the passing game struggling here to start the second half for the Tigers.
This will be the quarterback Cowden to punt, with the initial punter injured earlier, Abe Keeler. Back deep to return for Mansfield is David Wallace, who's done a nice job with his athleticism tonight in the return game, standing at his own 45-yard line. Actually, the Tigers' 45-yard line. Low snap, nearly blocked. Line drive at Wallace Fields. Sneaks through an initial tackle and eventually falls forward to the 37-yard line. That's where Mansfield will have it to begin their next drive here on the Sports Fever Television Network.
Where can you dig for diamonds?
Where can you go to class with the fish?
Join an 1890s football team.
Where can you
study with a ghost?
Solve a crime.
Live in the skybox.
Climb a rock wall. Perform in London.
Ride your own personal shuttle to class.
Go whitewater rafting.
At Mansfield University.
Mansfield University.
More than 70 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, a liberal arts foundation to help you prepare for a lifetime of careers. A small rural campus nestled in the mountains of north central Pennsylvania. Faculty and staff who are here to help you learn and to help you succeed. Mansfield University, developing tomorrow's leaders.
Welcome back to Mansfield. Of course, a big night here, lighting up the night again after 121 years. And of course, it really drew a crowd. We've got 6,223 fans in the stands. Not only a school record, but an all-time Sprint League record as well. John?
Well, thank you, Shanna. Yes, a special night here with over 6,000 on hand for the Lights to go on for the first time in over a century. Estramera had a big gain on first down, but flags fly. And this might be coming back.
Play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 55 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Mansfield has had a number of personal fouls. This is on Jared Birkin after the run.
Let's take a look at it right here. Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, that's again, we thought they'd get that cleaned up at halftime. We saw three or four of those type of plays, but not the case. He's getting another personal foul called against Mansfield.
And once again, it's Estramera bouncing outside. Inside the 35, and still on his feet, hurdles a tackler as he eventually goes out of bounds, but a big gain, and again, a late flag.
So that's going to be, again, I think on Mansfield, a late hit there, which is going to, bring that play back. So take a look at Estramera's run.
Dead ball, personal foul. 15 on the offense.
Estramera with a great run.
41 on the offense.
Heads to the sidelines.
15-yard penalty, first down.
And take a look at what happens after the play. You see it there. So again, I mean, this is going to be the #1 topic for the coaching staff with Mansfield to get this thing cleared up with the personal fouls that are going on here tonight.
Mansfield has more penalty yards than Princeton has gained tonight. Over 120 penalty yards.
Princeton's best offense is Mansfield's penalties.
2 personal fouls in a row, and again, Estramera straight up the gut, this time for only 2. Bob Doherty was in on the stop.
John, getting back to the attendance and the great crowd tonight. Last year when Mansfield beat Princeton 23-16 at Princeton, the attendance was 500. And then they played at Penn, attendance of 304, 250, 723. The average attendance for Mansfield, look at the crowd of a Sprint game, was well over 3,000. That's an average attendance, and then you throw in over 6,000 tonight with the Sprint football record. That just caps off a great evening here.
Play action out of an I formation. Oh, nice job to find Estramera, who's still on his feet, spinning down to the 20-yard line, and a flag is out behind the play. As Estramera now is slow to get up. He's been the primary offensive weapon for Mansfield tonight. Another penalty.
Let's take a look at it. Pepper extends the play a little bit, gets it out, and there's the flag comes down. Also want to check to see if he was okay when he went down a little gingerly on that play, but got back up. We'll have to wait to see what the referees are coming up with. They have been pretty much the stars of the night tonight. A ton of penalties called this evening. Take another look at it right here. See that flag coming in.
At the beginning of that play, Estremera may have tweaked an ankle.
There's no foul on the play for block below the waist.
And they picked the laundry up. No foul on the play, much to the dismay of the head coach there for Princeton.
We'll take a look here.
That looks like a low hit on Kadeem Cohen's. They wave it off. And Princeton cannot believe it. Stephen Everett, in his third year, really cannot believe it. So the play stands at the 20-yard line. Again, the zone read. Pepper spinning forward, maybe for a yard. Bob Doherty again makes the tackle for the Tigers.
Doherty has made some nice plays tonight for the Princeton defense. He's one of the players that has stepped up from his position. The junior coming up and making some big stops, and did that time on Pepper. But Mansfield, they want to get the rhythm back offensively here and push in for another touchdown.
Estremera's back in the game. Nice little jab step as he cuts inside to the 10-yard line, but again a flag. All indications are in the area of holding.
Number 55 on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Second down over.
Jared Birkin.
See if we can check this out on the replay. We're looking for number 55 who was called on. And we'll see what happens as far as another penalty is concerned. Take another look here. There's 55 right the center of your screen, and good call there by the officials. Again, the penalties are going to have to be cleaned up by this Mansfield team as they go on to their next game next week.
2nd and 15. End around for Wallace. Cuts back inside and stumbles forward and loses the football. Let's see who has it. Mansfield has fumbled again, deep in Princeton territory. And the Tigers have come up with it. They're very much in this. The defense has come up with some big plays.
Yeah, the defense has stepped up here in the second half. And Wallace is a guy that you want to have the football. We mentioned that. So here it comes. Wallace goes around the end, gets the edge, has some good running room, stops, turns it up right there, and see where the football comes loose. It kind of came loose when he was trying to stretch out for an extra yard. He lost that football, and Princeton comes up on it with a big recovery for the Princeton defense. And the defense has made some big stops tonight for the Tigers and keeping them in this football game. Now it's just a matter of this offense can get going for Princeton because the offense has struggled all night.
Second time they've lost a fumble tonight in Princeton territory. Cowden drops back and has time over the middle, but overshoots the target. He was looking for Kadeem Cohen's. It was low as well. Tigers, we've talked about this year. They get the stop. They only trail by 11. They haven't had a lot of success offensively, but they don't need a lot here. They need a big play to get right back in it.
Yeah, that's all they need. Excuse me, one big play. They get that big play, they're right back in the game, and they're looking at a lot of different things. Coach is looking at his bench. He sees that a lot of his players are in crutches. The numbers aren't here. The offense has struggled. He saw what the offense did, but they really are still in this football game. It's 17-6, one big play, and they're really back in it.
Cowden drops back, fires, and that should have been intercepted right through the arms of Kenny Burks. A night where there's some precipitation, you can feel it in the air, as we do here outside from our broadcast location. You gotta feel it in the air, and almost some of that slippery nature of tonight coming into play, you think, with the defenders.
Here comes the ball right at you. Kenny Burks goes right through his hands, and that's at least the third interception that Mansfield almost had, one right through the hands. There's been a couple of them tonight that we saw, and Burks, again, is one guy that's saying to himself, oh, I should have had that one, but maybe a little bit, as you mentioned, there is, it seems like there is some wetness in the air, so that might have been the case. But big opportunities that are not being cashed in by Mansfield.
Cohen's the motion man. Castaneda on the edge out to the 20-yard line. Flag on the play as well. That was a 3rd and 10 run for Princeton. Mansfield defense has made stops all evening outside of one first quarter play, a 66-yard touchdown throw.
Have we gone 3 or 4 plays without a flag tonight?
I don't know if we have. Which means every
Blocking
time the
back,
lights are on here.
Number 6 on the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Something about the lights being on here. You either have a lot of penalties, 0-0 tie at the half, call it. So this penalty is declined. 4th down for Princeton. They'll have to punt here. It's 4th and 5, and Mansfield should get it back.
And should have good field position.
Look at the hold.
Yep. There it is. A good field position opportunity here for Mansfield.
Cannon will punt it away. Return man standing near midfield. This is a high, short kick that will be down by the Tigers at the 44-yard line. Mansfield looks to take advantage of good field position, leading here 17-6.
As sports medicine physician and faculty members at Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, Doctors Greg Coppola and Patrick Leary not only treat sports injuries, they exercise prevention. Medical Associates of Erie. Doctors who practice what they teach.
Hey there, welcome to the Roadhouse. I'm Roadhouse Rick. Come on in.
Hey, how you doing?
We're not one of them chains. We're homegrown and locally owned, where friends and families hang out and chow down on the best steaks, seafood, salads, burgers, wings, and much, much more. For more information, call 814-227-2000 or check out our menu and more at rrrroadhouse.com.
Nuts.
Today's special presentation of college football on the Sports Fever Television Network is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, your housing resource. If you need an affordable apartment or home mortgage that fits your budget, start with the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We do refis too. Learn more at phfa.org.
First down for Mansfield at the Princeton 45. It's Estremera up the gut for 6. It's been a big part of the offense tonight for the Mounties, who lead by 11.
Been the big part of the running game. Estremera has been the guy who they've been given to him time and time again as far as rushing the football. But he's, as we talked about, he really sums up what sprint football is all about. A tough kid that really puts his heart into the game.
He led Mansfield last year with 818 all-purpose yards. Nice cut as he gets down inside the 35-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Shanna.
Thanks, John. Well, both you and Phil have talked a lot about Jeremy Estremera. He was a 2-time CFL Offensive Player of the Week last year, but he was also one of 4 Mountaineers that were named, that were honored with all CFL honors. Obviously, that success continuing into this season.
Yeah, he has had a good start. There's number 20. He's the back of the I formation. He'll get it again. Hurdles tacklers and is inside the 30-yard line and still on his feet. What a beautiful carry.
Oh, that was a great run. That was big time there. Just bouncing off of tackles, keeping his legs pumping, getting that extra yards, and that sums up, why he is so good as far as a go-to guy that's going to get the football. I'm excited about this replay. Watch him hurdle a player there and then put his head down, knock over another player, stay on his feet. Watch it again from this angle, right from the field angle right there. Just keeps his feet pumping, and what a great run. A lot of extra effort there, John, to pick up those extra yards.
Mounties in the red zone, rolling out. Pepper has a man. It's complete inside the 10-yard line. It's caught by Scott Cirilla. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Mounties. Freshman fullback on the rollout, and Mansfield trying to extend this lead and give us our first points of the second half.
Scarella gets it right here from Scranton, the freshman, 5'4", uses that extra might to get down to the 8-yard line. Nice little pass play there.
Estremera up the middle is in for the touchdown. Second of the night for the Mansfield tailback.
Estremera didn't have to bounce off of anyone right there. It was nice blocking right from the line of scrimmage, a nice hole to run through, and Jeremy made sure he hit that hole pretty fast and got into the end zone for a Mansfield touchdown.
That was an Estremera drive, hurdling tacklers,
Sure was.
Running over would-be tacklers.
That run 3 plays ago, that was a highlight film run right there. That was a great run by him.
Kirk Haskell tacks on the extra point. Mansfield extends their lead, their largest of the night. It's 24-6 as Estremera has done it again. Number 2 of the night.
I'm General Fran Hendricks. I learned to be a leader at Mansfield University. I'm proud to say I'm a Mountie.
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 I'm Fran Hendricks, president of Mansfield University in class of 1979, and I invite you to be a Mountie too.
If you love the outdoors and want a career that's fun and challenging, check out the Mansfield University Fisheries Program. Small classes, personal attention, hands-on experience in streams, ponds, and lakes in the beautiful mountains surrounding Mansfield. Be a part of one of the most comprehensive programs anywhere. We'll prepare you for careers around the world. I'm Aaron McNevin, and if you want a rewarding outdoor career, contact us today.
A beautiful evening in Mansfield where the lights are on for the first time in over a century here. And the Mounties faithful enjoying a 24-6 advantage. Jeremy Estremera just punched it in. John Schaefer and Phil Shaner with you here from the booth. Shanna Muscavage with us on field. Our outstanding Sports Fever crew on hand as well. Short kick fielded by John Wolf. Makes the first man miss. That's out near the 30-yard line. And that is where Princeton will take over late in the third quarter, trailing now by 18.
We saw that beautiful shot of the moon. I wonder, back in the first ever night game, did it ever take place in Mansfield in 1892? I wonder, that would have worked out great if they would have had a full moon. That would have helped with the lighting the whole field up, because that was a struggle after, you imagine trying to light the field. People were running into light posts. People were tackling the person that was on their team because they couldn't see the light. So the moon may have could have helped them out if it was a beautiful moon like we have tonight. But who needs that with these gorgeous lights we have here 121 years later?
Counting as the man is complete to McCord, who has the touchdown catch for 66 yards. That's out to the 41-yard line. Gain of 15 on the first down throw.
That's their longest pass play since the 66-yard touchdown for Princeton, that 15-yarder right there.
Princeton quickly to the line of scrimmage in the final seconds of this third quarter. Needing some offense. They've only had it on one play tonight. That 66-yard touchdown throw to McCord in the first quarter that for a moment looked like would tie the score. But a blocked extra point and a safety, and Mansfield has led since. This is caught now by Cohens, who's tackled inside the 25-yard line. Back-to-back big plays. This one by Cohens, the freshman. And the final play of the third quarter will have Princeton in Mounties territory. So for a moment, the clock has stopped. Princeton driving here on Mansfield, as the final seconds will eventually tick down here in the third. Now we'll see if the Tigers have a comeback in store tonight. We have played 45 minutes from Mansfield, where the Mounties lead 24-6. Tigers driving, and we'll have the fourth quarter after a break right here on the Sports Fever Television Network.
Sweetheart. Hey, you two, it's dinner time.
When Marcus and Michelle were starting their family, they came to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for their home loan. We're proud we could help Marcus, Michelle, and Mia. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help home ownership dreams come true.
Karen has 459 friends, but none of them made sure she got home okay. None of them suggested she skip the next drink, try a glass of water, or maybe just call it a night. Karen has 459 friends, but tonight, what she really needed was one good one.
Princeton driving, trailing 24-6. This fourth quarter commences here from Mansfield. Counted, drops back. Has a man. It was nearly intercepted, but it's caught. Princeton has a first down in the red zone. Bob Doherty makes the play. Third consecutive reception on this drive for the Tigers.
So all of a sudden the Tigers have some offense going. Watch here, the little snap, and Doherty's right there to make the big grab. Nearly picked off. I thought we were going to have a pick six there as Underwood almost had it. Spencer Underwood going the opposite way, but Princeton has a little rhythm going now offensively in their passing game.
Mansfield takes the timeout, just 27 seconds into this fourth quarter. After that completion, Princeton inside the red zone for the first time tonight, and we'll step aside here on the Sports Fever Television Network.
Where can you dig for diamonds?
Where can you go to class with the fish?
Join an 1890s football team.
Where can you
study with a ghost?
Solve a crime.
Live in the skybox.
Climb a rock wall. Perform in London.
Ride your own personal shuttle to class.
Go whitewater rafting.
At Mansfield University.
Mansfield University.
More than 70 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, a liberal arts foundation to help you prepare for a lifetime of careers. A small rural campus nestled in the mountains of north central Pennsylvania. Faculty and staff who are here to help you learn and to help you succeed. Mansfield University, developing tomorrow's leaders.
First down for the Tigers, trailing 24-6. They are in the red zone for the first time tonight. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. It's counted, rolling out. Finds the edge and takes it down to the 6-yard line. Princeton has something going here, Phil, offensively with some long completions and passes thrown there by Chad Counted.
Yeah, as you mentioned, John, this is uncharted waters for Princeton. The first time they've been in the red zone all night here in the fourth quarter with 14 minutes to go. So golden opportunity for them. And the quarterback nearly drops the snap, does drop the snap, is able to pick it up. And then he said, hey, I don't have time to look downfield at this point. I just got to pick it up and run the football. And he did for some positive yards.
Yeah, setting up a second and short for Princeton. Inside the 10 at the 6. Sibley, the tailback, Cowden, the keeper, and he lost the football. Bodies go flying, and Mansfield has it. The Mounties come up with it. It's Evan Ruggles, sophomore lineman, and the Tigers denied inside the 10 as the Mounties return the favor and get a fumble.
Let's take a look right here on the tackle. The ball comes free, and Ruggles is right there. Johnny on the spot to come up with the loose football, so a big turnover for Mansfield's defense, preventing Princeton to get some points and coming up with a big red zone stop with the turnover. And a great job by the Mounties. Now they get their offense back on the field.
Yeah, they might be able to use some clock here, leading already by 3 scores. Princeton had a golden opportunity to make it a 2-score game. And Estremera again on the ground, still on his feet, out to the 20-yard line. First down carry ends up in a first down for the Mounties.
Estremera has been very impressive for Mansfield offensively. Again, he's been their major go-to back. Doesn't mind getting the ball. He's one of those running backs, John, that would like to get his number called on a consistent basis. He wants the football in his hands. He's that type of runner that wants to make a big run out of Brooklyn, New York.
He's approaching 100 yards on the ground tonight. This is Pepper on the keeper on that zone read they've used throughout the night. And he carries it to the 24, stumbles forward, and a flag is down. Mounties have really been hurting their opportunities offensively with penalties.
Last holding, number 75 on the offense. Half the distance of goal from the previous spot, first down.
It's on Brendan McDermott. Ready for a spectacular experience? Make sure to play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, $1 million spectacular with 5 top prizes of $1 million. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. Again, it's Estromera. This time not much, to the 11, just a couple of yards. But again, Mansfield right now has the advantage of the large lead and that clock ticking.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, is put some drives together, run that clock down, and that's what they're trying to do here with the running game. They don't really need to do too much else besides try to put a couple of first downs together. And they're trying to build. The last few years, their mark has been 2 wins. They've won 2 wins for the last 3 seasons in a row, I think. So they want to, they want a season here where they'd like a winning season. For the last few years, that's the 7 games they've played. They've been 2-5, 2-5, and 2-5. So that's what they're trying to build, a better program and a winning program. We talked about that with Freddie when he was on in the second quarter.
Pepper was looking for Joe Busick and overthrew him. Again, a running clock here in the second half with Mansfield leading 24-6. It was 17-6 at the intermission, and the Mounties have led since their opening possession. 3rd and forever here, deep in Princeton territory. It's a pitch. Estromera strung out at the 14-yard line. And the Mounties will have to punt it back to the Tigers, but again, that clock is ticking, and the Tigers will need at least 3 scores from this point on.
Take a look at Estromera. Again, we've seen that a couple of times tonight, John, where he has that kind of speed where he kind of has that stutter step and then puts it on with a little more speed. And I like that shifty kind of runner where he has a couple of different kinds of speed as far as where he goes, and that's neat to see. And that's definitely been an advantage for him, and that's why he's such a tough runner.
Green will kick it away. It is a high, short kick that will take a Princeton bounce and be down at the 39-yard line. And the Tigers have excellent field position with 10 minutes and 39 seconds to play in our football game here tonight.
Sean Green from Jim Thorpe has gotten off some pretty nice punts tonight for Mansfield. That wasn't one of his better ones, but we saw him boom the ball earlier in this game a couple of times.
Chad Cowden, by the way, the quarterback for Princeton, now 7 of 21, but for 143 yards and a touchdown. He's back under center. Mansfield's quarterback, Ben Pepper, 6 of 13. Jeremy Estromera, we've said his name a lot, 16 carries tonight, 73 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Nice to see if he can get to 100 yards, so we'll see if they get an opportunity. Of course, as we mentioned with the lead, they're going to keep the ball on the ground if the offense gets the ball back.
Low snap. Cowden in trouble. Fires it up there and nearly completed the pass.
I'll tell you what, Princeton's having a bad exchange with the center and the quarterback a couple of the snaps that we've seen the last 12 plays or so. The snaps have been awful low and had a hard time making that a clean exchange with the quarterback going from the shotgun.
Princeton, by the way, next week has Navy. Army and Navy have been at the top of the CSFL for a long time. Cowden in trouble. Down he goes. No, he steps out of it. Still on his feet. And then just flings the thing at the last moment as flags fly. So he avoided the initial sack, ends up at his backside near midfield, and we'll see what the flag is.
I don't know how Cowden got out of that first one. Looks like he was going to go down for the sack. Somehow stayed up. So here's a look at it right here. Looking downfield, looking for a receiver to throw to. Tucks it, and then he's going to run, and somehow stayed on his feet right there. And another shifty move to buy some time, but then time just ran out on him, and down he went. We'll have to see what the flag was all about, or they pick it up.
Well, it's going to go against Mansfield as they move the football down to the 38-yard line. which negates that negative play or even the incompletion. You know what? They're going to say incompletion, I believe. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, the flag was waved off. Yep.
So an incompletion. 24-6. 3rd and 10 for the Tigers, who have to convert here if they have any opportunity of winning tonight's game.
You don't have a lot of opportunities in spring football. Only 7 games are played in the season, so it's a very short season, so every game is big.
Stephen Everett takes the timeout. We'll take it with them here. 24-6 Mounties.
Hey guys, just in time.
When Julie wanted to provide some stability for her 2 boys, she reached out to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency for her home loan. We're proud we could help Julie and her family. If you're looking for an affordable home loan or refinancing option, give us a call. We offer down payment and closing cost assistance too. Call us weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or check our website. We're the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We help homeownership dreams come true.
More than 70 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, a liberal arts foundation to help you prepare for a lifetime of careers. A small rural campus nestled in the mountains of north central Pennsylvania. Faculty and staff who are here to help you learn and to help you succeed. Mansfield University, developing tomorrow's leaders.
Today's special presentation of college football on the Sports Fever Television Network is brought to you by Mansfield University, Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board Bureau of Alcohol Education, Clarion's RRR Roadhouse Restaurant, and the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency.
An important 3rd and 10 for Princeton here midway through the 4th quarter, trailing by 18. Chad Cowden in the shotgun needs to convert here. And the pass over the middle is incomplete. It was dropped right into the arms of Kadeem Cohens. It could not hold on. It would not have been first down distance. And now it's 4th down with the running clock. Princeton has to think about going for it. It looks like they will.
Pretty nice pass right in Cohen's hands. He's got to come up with that grab. It was right there. Hit him right square in the hands. That's a catch he needs to make.
Well, I thought they'd go for it, but it looks like now they're going to bring the punter back on.
Remember, they had a fake punt earlier. It didn't work for him in the first quarter.
Cowden, the freshman quarterback, will kick it away because of the injury to the punter earlier tonight. It's a low line drive. Wallace is back deep. He will pick it up inside his own 10. Out to the 25, stumbling out of bounds. That's where Mansfield will take over with 8:17 to play, and the Mounties leading 24-6. If you are ready for a spectacular amount of fun, play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, $1 million spectacular with 5 top prizes of $1 million and over $85 million in cash prizes. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Just 8 minutes to play here for Mansfield, and the Mounties have a commanding 24-6 lead. John Schaefer and Phil Shaner with you here. Shanna Muscavage as well. Our outstanding crew from Sports Fever on hand here in the Northern Tier. First down, Estremera, again 27 yards shy of 100, and he has a healthy gain on first down out to the 32.
I'm sure they're aware of that. I'm sure they'd like to get him that 100-yard night. That would be something to add to this special night already with lighting up the stadium with night football back to the birthplace of night football here in Mansfield to give him, and he's such a tough runner. Again, we talked about it a couple of times, how shifty he is. He has a couple levels of speed, John, and he kind of waits and looks and sees downfield, sees where his hole is, and then he can shift it into that second gear as far as his running speed. He's a very shifty runner.
Pepper on the keeper. Into the secondary and eventually brought down from behind near the 40-yard line. A first down carry for the sophomore signal caller, Ben Pepper, out to the 42.
Saw Pepper do that a lot in the first quarter. You know, the fake handoff and then the read option, able to keep it and tuck it and run. A lot of success with that in the first quarter. They went away from it the last couple of quarters, but you see his skill. And again, he doesn't look like a sophomore anymore, does he? He certainly has a lot of poise behind the center.
This is Estromero to the second level and out to the 47-yard line. Then behind the play, after the play, again, some laundry on the field. And we'll see if this is on Mansfield again, a personal foul. Kurt Logan was tied up with a Princeton defender. And they are going to walk this off. And this is going to be a huge talking point.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. 21 on the offense, 15-yard penalty, second down.
I would think the first thing Graham Johnson says after congrats on the win is we need to play more discipline than we did on Saturday night.
And John, I'm sure that was the topic first thing said in the locker room as well, because they haven't improved on it. He had to address it. Obviously, at halftime, they made those mistakes, as we saw even an ejection earlier on. We saw those mistakes in the first half with the penalties, and it's continued here in the second half.
Estromero right up the gut out to the 42-yard line. A big gain on first down for 10.
Give the offensive line some credit there, getting some holes for Estromero in that time. A nice hole for him to run through. So the offensive line taking care of business. A Princeton team where a lot of guys got to play both offense and defense. So you can imagine some of those guys on the line are a little wore down, especially late here in the fourth quarter.
Unofficially, over 120 yards of penalties tonight against Mansfield. They've committed 13 penalties.
You can't give up that many yards. That's 120 yards that you're just giving the other team. Here you have 120 some yards that were because of our mistakes. It has to be cleaned up.
Estromero on the outside, bangs by the edge and has it out to the 47-yard line. Let's go back downstairs to Shanna.
Thanks so much, John. Well, Phil, you just talked about the success that the Mountaineers have had moving the ball, and obviously the offensive line doing a great job. They're anchored by senior Blaine Wayne right now. He is so versatile that Coach Johnson also talked about using him at center, and I believe he's normally at guard.
Yeah, they've moved him a little bit everywhere. By the way, after this play,
penalty, fourth down.
Personal foul against Mansfield. So that has been a soundtrack of tonight's game here. If you're a Mounties fan, they continue to back each other up, back themselves up. It's now 4th and 18, and because of it, they'll have to kick it away.
Yeah, I mean, the coaching staff, this is going to be, they're going to hear about this tonight. They're going to hear about it all week at practice. They have to get this thing cleared up. These are big 15-yard penalties that are really game changers when you add as many as they've had so far here tonight.
Lucas Howard is standing in his own 35. Will call for a fair catch and let it drop. Bad choice. This will angle all the way inside the 20. So Howard let it drop, and he cost his team probably 20 yards. Princeton down to their final 4:58, trailing by 18, needing a miracle here tonight. You can pick up a copy of tonight's game by emailing PA Sports Fever at pa.net. The historic night here at Mansfield, the return of night football. You can also go online, pasportsfever.com. The return of night football to Carl Van Norman Field tonight. What a night it was. A record crowd of over 6,000 on hand.
And if you want to have the video of Chester Bailey, of 101 years old, flipping that switch at the beginning of this game, you want to get one of those DVDs, because he is certainly Tioga County legend around here, a historian. He's the one that's responsible for making sure Mansfield is credited for having the first night football game in the NFL and College Hall of Fame.
Patrick Yu makes the catch on the outside. A completion on first down for the Tigers. Nice catch, but good hit.
Yeah, the Princeton offense, as far as their passing game, has improved here as the game has gone on. So that's something that the Princeton coaching staff can build on. Just the last couple of series have been better than it was outside of that 66-yard touchdown in the first.
Down steps up and overthrows the target. He was looking for Chris McCord, who has the only score for Princeton tonight. It seems like forever ago. His 66-yard touchdown catch, making it a 7-6 game. Princeton was just an inch away from a tie, but a block kick resulting in a 2-point conversion for Mansfield, and Mansfield does not look back.
And you can see on the faces of the Princeton players, they're worn down. They're playing both sides of the ball. There's not a great number of them, so you can even see they're getting worn down as this game's going. I mean, they're going to be exhausted after this game is over.
This pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage and then caught and held on to out at the 22-yard line. And this wide receiver is slow to get up in the final 3 minutes and 20 seconds. It's caught by Kevin Ma, senior wide receiver for Princeton.
Give a lot of credit to the Mansfield defense, and we'll expand on that. The defensive line for Mansfield has done a nice job of getting their hands up at the line of scrimmage, and that tip ball ended up being catched. There was, I would say so far tonight, at least 5 balls that were tipped at the line of scrimmage by the Mansfield defensive players, just putting their hands up and making it a challenge for Princeton to get the ball over the defensive line.
4th and a yard, but prior to the snap, Princeton will take a timeout. They'll be left with 1 remaining. Trailing 24-6, they need to pick it up to extend this game. If they don't, Mansfield would take over deep in Princeton territory as well. Just 2 minutes and 43 seconds to play in the second half of the scene, just 7 points.
Princeton's coach still looking for his first victory, 0-14 in his coaching career at Princeton. So he's still looking for that first win. And now Mansfield, they want to build on this night and all the positive things that have went on here tonight. Again, the largest crowd ever to watch a Sprint football game, the birthplace of night football back in 1892 in Mansfield. Now we have night football back at Mansfield, but they have some things to build on, but still the coaching staff will tell you a lot of things to work on. The number one thing is all those personal foul penalties.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities moving forward for Mansfield as the 4th down carry is enough for a first down out to the 25-yard line and a first down for the Tigers. But next week they'll be at Penn. They'll be in a historic venue at the University of Pennsylvania, Franklin Field, next week for these Mansfield Mounties.
That place seats 52,000. I don't know if Mansfield could, they had 6 in here tonight. I don't think they could fill the place, but that'll be a neat venue for them in Philadelphia next week.
Cowden fires downfield, has a man, it's complete, and this might go. This is Wolf inside the 20 and in for the score. Another big strike for Princeton. They've had 2 of them tonight and hold everything. It's a 2-score game.
How about that? Wolf has played big tonight for Princeton on both sides of the ball, even on special teams. Wolf has been everywhere. Big pass play. That's how they scored the touchdown. Their only touchdown in the game was the 66-yarder. Now this big pass play right here to Wolf, and no one to beat. I mean, Mansfield's defense came up as Ronald Miller was playing him, and he stepped up, and Miller got beat on that play, and Wolf was just there, and then it was nothing but open real estate and the end zone and a touchdown for Princeton.
Now they're going to go for 2. Trailing by 12, trying to make it a 10-point game. This is Cowden under pressure, fires, has a man, is complete for a conversion. It's a 10-point game as the conversion is completed by Princeton with just 2 minutes and 6 seconds to play. Wolf, the 75-yard touchdown catch and the 2-point conversion.
That was nice. Wolf just had it there, and there he goes all the way for the score. And Wolf, again, just kind of ran out the coverage. Ronald Miller was trying to stay with him, the sophomore from Mansfield, but Wolf was there. Well, I thought the ball was thrown well, and Wolf was right under it, and a long touchdown. So that's been the story offensively for Princeton, the 66-yarder, now the 75-yarder, and there's your 2 touchdowns for the Tigers. And we have a 10-point game with 2:06 to go. So Princeton, despite their lack of numbers and a lot of guys playing both offense and defense, they're still hanging around and making it interesting with the 2 big pass plays, one in the first quarter and then one that just happened now here in the 4th.
Yeah, they still have only had a play or 2 in the red zone tonight, but 2 big strikes. They trail by only 10. You would think onside kick. They do have 2 timeouts. Princeton will kick it away. Teams are actually on the wrong side.
I'll let you explain that.
So the teams are actually turned around prior to the kickoff here. Mansfield will expect an onside kick. I think you have to, trailing by 10 with 2:06 to play. And the Tigers can only stop the clock twice from here on out.
Lucas Howard to kick off for the Tigers.
This is Lucas Howard kicking it deep. Squibbing it out of bounds. That will be a penalty. So Mansfield will take over with 2:06 to play, trying to really hold on to this 10-point lead. It has felt larger at times. They've dominated possession tonight, but a couple of big plays.
Now I think
that ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
The Mansfield coaching staff, what you want to say to your offense, okay, the goal here is to keep this football for the remaining 2:06. Don't give it back to Princeton, and let's walk out of here with a win. And, we'll end this special night where we light the stadium, work on the things that we need to work on. But he wants to challenge the offense to be able to hold on to this football and run out the final 2:06.
Estromera nearly lost the football but got it back.
So that's the opposite of what I was saying. That's the things that on the do not list. Don't fumble the football. Don't turn it over. Let's hold on to it. Let's get a first down to keep this clock running, and don't give Princeton an opportunity to get that football back. But we're noticing up where we're located broadcasting tonight that there is it is very, very wet. So the ball, I'm sure, is pretty slick. But at this point, with the 24-14 lead, with 1:25 to go, you got to hold on to that football and make sure you don't turn it over to Princeton to get them further into this game.
That could have been disaster. But now the Tigers trailing by 10. Mansfield using some clock in the final 70 seconds of tonight's football game. Princeton can still stop the clock with those 2 timeouts. Handoff Estromera. Barrels forward to the 44, near the markers. It may be 3rd and about a yard inside of a minute. Tigers will not take a timeout. Mansfield is just about 45 seconds away from a season-opening victory tonight with the lights on here at Carl Van Norman Field. Mounties need to run just one last play in the final 30 seconds, leading here by 10. Estromera approaching 100 yards. Pepper taking his time in the final 30 seconds. Handoff is to Estromera, who has the first down to the 47, and that should do it in the final 15 seconds. Mounties survive a late touchdown from Princeton and win on an electric night here at Mansfield University.
Certainly was. The lights are back on. Night football returns to Mansfield, and the Mounties are now 1-0 on the season. A happy night in the Northern Tier.
Great night for Mansfield. They win by a score of 24-14, striking first and withstanding a late touchdown pass from Chad Counted. So again, Mansfield wins it tonight by a score of 24-14. Here at Mansfield University, special night as night football returned for the first time since 1892. And a nice start here for the Mounties.
Mansfield has a lot to build on. There was one big glaring area, and that's those penalties. Those personal fouls need to be cleaned up by this Mansfield team as they go on. And as far as Princeton is concerned, they got to get some players. As you see a lot of players on crutches, they got to get healthy and get a full squad back. But certainly a special night, and this will be a night that'll go down in history in Mansfield University and sprint football, and the original birthplace of night football back in 1892. And then we saw tonight where the switch was pulled by Chester Bailey and the lights return, and now it's try to build this sprint football program and have a winning season. The last few years, it's been 2 and 5 years, so they would like to get a winning year here at Mansfield in sprint football.
Lights back on. Mansfield wins 24-14 for Phil Shaner and Shanna Muscavage and our outstanding Sports Fever Television Network crew. This is John Schaefer saying good night from Mansfield one final time. It's Mounties 24, Tigers 14. We'll see you next week.